on the market to actually establish our six-figure gains in just a very short period of time. And you can also replicate what we have been doing so far. So let me just acknowledge some of you who are here, and you guys are very early. We have Caroline, we have Colin, we have Ivan here as well. Great to see you guys. You guys are on time, and I really appreciate that. All right, cool. So just want to give you guys some heads up on how this masterclass is going to be. All right, so throughout this entire sessions, there will be a lot of question and answers that I want you guys to participate. Why? Because when you participate, that's where you can remember the best. And there are certain questions that you may have during this entire session. I want you guys to use the Q&A button at the bottom. Use that function, type in your questions, and I will address everything at the end of the session, and I'll take maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. So every question you're putting out, I'm going to answer every single one. It could be regarding your situation, it could be regarding this session masterclass today, or maybe there are some doubts about the market that you want to actually clarify, and we will address it at the end of this session. All right, so we have Ivan here, Isaac, great, Vivek, Sunny, I'm seeing you guys, John, Tan, Royston, wow, so many of you. All right, great. So today, I think one of the key thing that I really want to give you guys some time to settle down because a lot of them are still coming in. So I just want to make sure that you guys are coming in well. So I know you guys have been following me a while. All right, so if some of you have been following me, you know that I tend to talk a little bit fast. Okay, I tend to talk a little bit fast. So I want you all to take out your writing pad or your iPad or your phone, right, to take notes. All right, because what I'm going to give you in this masterclass, right, at the end of the day, right, I'm going to show you exactly where you can also get help with. And today, I really encourage interactions. If not, I'll be staring at the blank screen and I don't know what is happening. So help me out by responding to what I ask. Later on, there'll be exercises that you guys can participate so that I know whether are you learning. And if you're not learning, then I know that, hey, maybe I need to change some of the stuff that I want to share with you. So do help me out by helping you to make this session more interactive and so that you can learn more things. All right, I'm going to switch my screen here so that we can kickstart the session. Just give me a second. Let me just do this. So I'm actually handling different devices. Yeah, so we have quite a fair bit. Dominic is here as well. All right, welcome, Dominic. All right, so how many of you have actually seen articles like this that, wow, today a lot of the new launches out there are actually doing very, very well, and especially in the last couple of days when there's so many information about all the new launches, right? But do you know that actually just at the beginning of this year, or should I say the end of 2023, it was actually a very muted market, all right? It was a very muted market until this year, 2024, second quarter. The projects that were launching was not selling out. 23% for the Sora, 33% for Hill Heaven. Hill at One North was only about 43 units, and the Hill Shore, only 3 units. So during this period, right, for the first half of 2024, actually the entire new home sales shrunk about 64%. So a lot of people have been asking me ever since the last couple of weeks, hey, what is actually happening to the market? I mean, is it there's a lot of demand going on, or is it that there's not enough supply? So some of you may also have some of these questions that you are doubting and then you're wondering where the market is heading to. So why is this happening? First of all, we must understand we already got news about the Fed rates has already decreased in terms of their interest rates. So let me ask every one of you here, right? If interest rates comes down, what will generally happen to prices? How will it be? So today's masterclass, right, is really for a few group of people, of buyers. All right, if today you are already in the market and you may be already sourcing out for some of the properties, and you'll be thinking, hey, what else can I go for besides just a new launch? You see, because everybody is kind of rushing into it. And some people, they will tell you, hey, resale is actually better, a new launch is actually better. What kind of homework have you done? So this is for you. If let's say today you are here for these purposes, this masterclass is really for you. And the second group that today you are here in this masterclass is because you perhaps already bought a property sometime back, maybe 5 or even 10 years ago. And because the market is right now is peak, you are kind of wondering, so should I sell my property to cash out the profit or not, to unlock the profit? Or if I sell already, what am I going to do next? Because there's always a saying, right? Today, if I sell high, I also buy high. So that is why there's a lot of confusion right now in the marketplace. And you may be thinking, how can you do this by swapping to the right property at the right time for your own family? And the third group today, right, if you are here this will benefit you a lot. Why? Because this could be your first time entering into the property market. All right, maybe you're buying for your own purchase, for your own stay, or for investment, and you're just like a white piece of paper. And today, what I'm going to share with you in this masterclass is really to what? Is to share with you what are the common mistakes a lot of homeowners generally make. So today, if you're new, right, then this will be something that you can actually avoid totally. All right, so you can build your property a little bit safer. So today, when the Fed rate cuts, right? So let me ask every one of you, will you choose to wait for interest rates to come down first, or you will act beforehand? All right, you can just type in your answers inside the chat group. All right, so like I say again, I welcome interactions, right? So you all can actually write down your answers inside, okay? So I'm seeing whether you guys respond also. If you all do some finger exercises, please. All right, so since the Fed rates has already dropped from 5.25% to 2.75%, right? They are continuing going to drop this until all the way to 2026. Although there are news that says that they are going to maybe slow down the process of dropping, but a lot of people are always saying that, hey, why do I need to rush when the interest rates are coming down? Then may as well wait for it to drop totally, right? So that I can actually get the lowest interest rate possible. How many of you think this way? If you think this way, you can also share inside the comment, right? In this masterclass, we are all learning from one another. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong. We are here to learn. So be it whether your answers is correct or not, we are not here to judge anybody. All right. So this is a very safe environment for you to participate in some of all these question and answers. All right. So over the last couple of months, right, we know that they actually have went 4% in Singapore. Now it drops even below 3%. All right, below 3%. So that is why we are starting to see also a little bit of demand coming back into the market, right? The way I see when news came out like this, right, it's more of a pent-up demand because people have been waiting. A lot of homeowners, investors, they are waiting for the interest rates. And that is a very big key indicator to tell you what potentially is going to happen. All right. So we already know from foreign banks, they slash the home rates to as low as below 2.5%. So that's why I want to tell every one of you here, right? Today, in the next 6 to 7 months, it's going to be very crucial. And if you're able to work within this period, right, it's going to be very crucial for your next action. Because this next action is either going to help you grow your asset, or you potentially is going to be sitting on a fence and you see it go by. All right, so this is where a lot of forward planning comes along. So ever since 2023 and 2023, we have already guided a lot of our clients to start planning into the future. So because we all know property is not as liquid as we want, we still need time to market the property sometimes, and we need to sell the property, and we do need time for the funds to come in. Which is why today, if you start doing it at the time where everybody is doing it, you may be losing some months that you can actually get ahead of the market. But from my research, you do have some time to react at the moment when all these are coming in. Right. So this is why I always share today, when you are coming in for property, you cannot base on the newspaper's information. The moment when the newspaper splashes out, on the ground, we are already doing it way before. So that is why when you have somebody to guide you through property, right, it can actually guide you very clearly on where the direction is heading. So why do we do that? Because we all understand that today, as our interest rate, and this is from UOB, from their data center, right? You can see that as interest rates starts to come down, right, this is where Singapore starts to be ready. And we all understand Singapore liquidity in terms of funds is actually very, very strong one. And property is always the first key thing that everybody wants in terms of asset. Why? Because it's very, very safe. And let me ask every one of you here. So today, let me just draw your attention to the pink line and the blue line and the black line. So the pink line is actually the SIBOR, right? And the black line is actually SORA. So can you see that when our interest rate is muted, all right, very low, this one is close to a very low percentage. What happens to our price, right? Does the price goes up or come down? You all can comment in the chat below. All right. So the prices goes up, right? Because why? When there's a low interest rate situation, everybody starts coming in and it pushes up the prices. And when the interest rate goes up, what happens? You can see that things slow down a little bit. Things slow down. Not that the property don't increase, but it slows down. So there's no kind of a situation where Singapore property prices went down to zero. You know, it has never happened. It will never happen. But we will definitely have some bumps here and there where the market is performing a little bit slower than before. So this is why whenever the interest rates goes up, right, this is a signal that actually things are going to be slowed down. So the question I want to ask you all right now is that today, will you want to enter when the interest rate is going, the prices are going up, or do you want to enter when the market is a little bit muted? So later on throughout this entire masterclass, you start to see certain criteria, okay, certain traits that we use to determine how to enter the market and when to exit the market. Okay, so today at the current time, of course, we have a situation where our interest rate went down again, and you can see the prices also went up. So right now we are at this point where interest rates are starting to come down. So what will happen in this cycle? The key thing is that today, this is my projection. This is my projection that with the pent-up demand and the interest rates reducing, and with the recent very positive newspaper on all the launches that are sold very, very well, this will only drive the market. Why? Because today, when you read papers like this and with the support of interest rates, you will be FOMO, fear of missing out. You'll be like, oh, is this the right time I should be entering the market? I can share with you, everyone, this is the time where you need to be extra careful. Okay, you have to be extra careful because there's a lot of price traps out there, and there will be a lot of emotional purchase because the sentiment is very, very good. How many of you agree? Sometimes when everything seems so rosy, right, we need to take a step back a little bit and kind of to slow down a little bit to see, okay, what can we do with the market? So like you all are in this class, okay, in this master class. So you'll be one of the first mover that we can actually guide you through in this situation where we can kind of plan out your property journey along the way. So recently I also have a friend who kind of asked me like, hey, if today the OCR market, which is the mass market, are already going for $2,000 for Woodlands. I'm sure you're aware, right? And then 2,200 for Lentor, even $2,003 per square foot for Lentor, right? Jurong, wow, some of them even went up to 2,007, 2,008 per square foot. So he was asking me what kind of range should he enter in. So I did share with him that today, yes, we are looking at the OCR market, right? But if today you can buy a city fringe RCR property below $2,700 per square foot, with surrounding, everything is good, you know, and with good schools and amenities, right? Is it worth to consider? So what do you all think? What do every one of you think? If let's say today the OCR market, the mass market is already going at 2,000 to even $2,400 per square foot, right? And if today you can buy a city fringe at just below $2,700 per square foot, is it worth to even consider? Right. So this is why my role and my team's role is to help you spot out good properties and value properties that we can continue to buy and hold on to that property in place. Because there are so many launches going on at the moment. So my projection is that none of them will be 100% sold except one. So it seems like my projection is actually quite true. So in case you want to have an update of how much the recent launches are being sold, this is the numbers. Okay, of course, we have the number one winner, which is Emerald at Katong, followed by our Chuan Park, as well as Nava Grove on third. Okay, so the key thing is that today there's going to be so much pent-up demand, and is this going to be a new benchmark bull run that we need to accept? So one thing that I always share with my clients is that today, the earlier you can accept that there's going to be a new benchmark price, right? The faster that you can make a decision and you can buy the property first. Why? Because today you want to hold on to the property and you don't want to speculate in terms of this situation. All right. So of course, some of you maybe you are considering some of all these launches, or maybe even future launches or current launches that has already been sold, and you're kind of confused, like, hey, what should I do? I kind of wanting to buy this property, but is this the right one for me? You can scan the QR code and reach out to me so that we can get you up to date as fast as possible, so we can help you to make a better informed decision. All right. So today I'm going to cover three things. All right. The first thing is how can we position ourselves, right, to capture the next supply cycle. Okay, because why? Everything about property is about supply and demand. And the second thing I'm going to share with you is how we can identify highest growth areas using the commercial effect. And thirdly, I'll be sharing with you how you can maximize your property returns despite the increase of all the property tax and the interest rates situation right now. So why this masterclass is a bit different. Okay, so let me share with you today real quick. This session is not a get rich quick kind of session. Okay, if you are here looking for a tomorrow become a millionaire kind of situation, then this class is not for you. Okay, this class is really, we want to do things step by step. There are definitely money involved. There's definitely some risk involved. But my role is how can we lower down this risk as much as possible. All right, to make this six-figure gains in your property is not an overnight thing. All right, you definitely need certain structures, certain frameworks to guide us through step by step. All right, so this class is also not those you can buy property with no money, no cash, that kind of situation. So we are not doing those. And I'm also not selling you any program. There's no workshop, there's no program, there's no 10, 15,000 kind of class you need to sign up. There's nothing. Today's session purely is educational because over time we realize there's so many homeowners out there. Although you are owning a property, you don't know much about your property situation. You don't know how you can position yourself in the market to your favor. So that's why I run classes like this to empower you to have the right knowledge, to have the right education, to make better decisions for yourself. Because this is what I realize when I speak to thousands of and hundreds of homeowners, right? Is that today, how many of you agree? Today, every one of you, you know where you are. All right, maybe perhaps today you are staying in a HDB or even a condo or landed property. You kind of know what your position right now is. And you potentially also know that, hey, maybe in the next couple of years or next year, I would like to, cash out and upgrade myself to a bigger property. Or some of you may be looking at, oh, I want to go for a two property situation. Or some of you maybe you say that, hey, I want to sell my property so that I can move to a different location due to whatever reason. So a lot of us, we will know how to get from A to B. That means we have already thought before. But what is the problem? The problem that I see a lot of families, right, is that today you don't know what to do. Okay, and you don't know how to do. We always have the idea like, oh, it's right for me to cash out or to upgrade myself. But what should I be buying? And how should I go about this? Is my finances strong? Is it helpful? So this is one of the problems that I see, and end up, right, because they couldn't decide what they do, they give up their plan. Right? So they give up their plan. So today I want to share with you, why do you give up your plan is because of this big thing. Okay, there's a big gap. And I call this the knowledge gap. You have a very big knowledge gap that is the reason why you are unable to decide what you want to do and you don't know how you want to do it. So my role and my team's role is to become a bridge. Okay? We are not here to help you make any decisions because decision is you make. But through us, right, we are going to help you to solve three things. Okay, our role here is to help you solve three things. What are the three things? The first thing, okay, we are trying to help you solve is your time. Because today, no matter what, you are working, you have your family, you are not in the market 24 hours, 7 like us when we are helping so many different clients to manage their portfolios, right, and their properties. We act as to add on more time to give you more reasons to kind of go through this process. And second thing that you may not have because is your resources. Maybe right now you are also doing your own research, going through a lot of videos and articles to read up and try to make sense yourself. We're not saying that it's impossible, but your resources may be limited. Limited to what? Online access to URA website, maybe some of all these other portals like Square Food, and you try to figure things out on your own, and that also takes a lot of time. The third thing that right now a lot of people are not having, and one of the reason why they couldn't move forward with their plan is because they don't have access. Access to what? We're talking about research. We're talking about data. We're talking about numbers. Today, are you looking at a kind of outdated data? Okay, maybe you are using newspapers as one of your guidelines. Are you getting that information firsthand? So that is why a lot of clients and families that work with us is because we are able to provide them these three things. We are able to save them time. We're able to guide them through using more resources as well as the right access. And we're talking about live access. Later on, I'll be sharing with you an exercise that I want all of you to participate because that's where we will use data to direct our decision-making process. Okay, today we are not saying that you cannot make a decision. But many of us, when we make decision, is based on what? Based on what we know. And do you agree what we know is also kind of limited? Okay, so that's why where my role is to support. If I can, I want to support you with additional things that can help you make better informed decisions later on. And we have been doing this since 2009 to help a lot of families and ourselves also, in terms of our property journey to be better. So of course, what we have done was we created the REI method to help you process better in terms of property. So the REI method is a concept. Okay, we bring our clients from where they are right now to where they want to be. Right? This is going to be your access for you to connect, for us to help you to connect all the dots, to know what is going to happen. Right. So later on, I'll be sharing with you my actual proven method. Okay, how we actually elevate our assets from 1 million to 3 million in just 5 years. Okay. So this is why you guys want to stay on, and I make sure that you guys got more things that you all can learn. So again, I want to show you how we do this step by step, and I'll give you real examples later on, very doable steps. All right, so that's why today's session is, I want you all to really focus, and I want you all to respond also, so that I know that you guys are listening and you guys are actually following through today's session. A quick one, if today you have missed the recent launches and you're kind of exploring the next launch and you're forever chasing the launches, right? Just take note that we have 3 upcoming launches. One is the REI, which is at the Toa Payoh, very near to the Braddell MRT. And we have Parktown Residences, which is at Tampines. This is an integrated project. And we have Alta at Clementi. So today, if let's say you have already been waiting for this pre-launches and you wanted to get a first-hand information of how and when is it launching, what is the information, the prices, well, you can actually scan the QR code and put in the project that you're kind of aiming at, so that me and my team, we can actually get in touch with you to give you, put into our database so that we can guide you through when the information comes out. All right, so at the moment, all these are actually stated for 2025. First quarter, all right, January onwards, and we are already preparing a lot to help our clients in terms of the research. So of course, all these 3 projects are by balloting process, and I'm sure there are a lot of winners who actually went through for Chuan Park as well as EOK. But there are also a lot of people who missed those outs because of ballot number. So unfortunately, for new launches, ballot number is heng sui lah, or it's really by luck also. But if you really got not a good number, you couldn't choose a unit. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise for you to kind of slow down, to kind of explore what are the other options out there that you could also enter into the property market. But of course, you have to be ready, because I constantly do a lot of videos on different projections. And if let's say today you're really going for a ballot process, I suggest you 6-second opinions on who can really help you to analyze what you can or cannot buy. All right, so this is very important. All right, you can scan the QR code, just drop me a message. What are the projects that you're kind of looking for, and what is your current property situation? I'll do my very best to get you involved and see how we can help you. So today's session, everything that we're going to show you, do your own due diligence check. So every data, every project that we're going to put up, it's not I say means can buy. You also must also do some of your own checks yourself. So my goal for today is very straightforward. All right, if today you have a property already, I want to guide you through the REI method, how you can grow from a 5-figure gains to 6 figures or even beyond using a step-by-step process. And if you don't have a property yet, don't worry. I mentioned today, the REI method is going to set you off correctly. So most importantly is you avoid all the mistakes. All right. So of course, we cannot do this like immediately. Tomorrow I'll be very successful in the property market. We need a step-by-step process. And if you stay all the way to the end, right, I will have a secret sauce I'm going to share with you all. So that's why you all need to stay on all the way to the end. So besides the Q&A, I'm going to share with you 2 methods that is going to help you build your portfolio systematically without risk. Okay, my role is we must understand, first of all, property, there's definitely risk, but how can we lower down that risk is the most important. Okay, so this is crucial. So I know that some of you, let me just see, we have quite a fair few of you guys are here. We have Juan as well, Samuel, welcome. We have Petrus, we have Marie, we have Calvin, we have June. Yes, Jay White as well, Jason, Ginny, welcome. Okay, so I know some of you who come in to this masterclass, kind of you know me, you have been following me on my various channels, and I just want to, is it with your permission, right? Is it okay for me to kind of spend maybe about just 5 minutes to share with you why I want to run classes like this to empower more homeowners. Is it okay for me to share with you a little bit of my backstory? With your permission, of course. So with your permission, can you all type in yes inside the chat? All right. Because only if you say yes, then I will share. If not, I will just move forward. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, correct. I appreciate that because I also want you all to know who this Coach Edmund is, who is this person who dare to come out and talk about property, right? There must be something that you all must be able to relate to. All right, so just to give you a quick story, all right, basically we are a family of 5 and life was actually very comfortable. I actually grew up in a 4-room HDB in Bedok North. And life is very comfortable. And of course, my dad wanted to actually provide more for the family, and he's a business owner. So eventually he went on to also acquire properties. All right, like I call in the old days, the cowboy days, people was prime property is part of their assets that they will use it as an investment. So he went on to purchase properties, and we are very lucky. We went from staying in a HDB to a condominium, and eventually even to a landed property. So during that time, right, it was also one of the key things that happened in 2009. If you all can remember 2009, then roughly we know how old you are. Okay, if you can still remember the 2009 financial crisis, actually the market actually went bogus, right, went down. Not only just the property market, the business that my dad went on was actually not doing well. So the property market went to a slump, and unfortunately, he had to sell off everything and went bankrupt. So because of this situation, the family, the 5 of us, we have to go and rent a HDB flat in the end, just for our roof over our head as a shelter. So it was really a very painful period where we have everything, and overnight it was stripped off, and we have to kind of go and rent a property just to make things, and so that was a very painful experience that we had. And that's also a reason why when me and my wife, we came into the business since 2009, one of the key things that we told ourselves is that, hey, today when we do our business, we have to be able to do it well, and our options cannot destroy the family's plan, because it can literally really destroy a family if going to the wrong directions. So of course, moving forward, right now there's a lot of measures that actually help us so that we do not overpay a property, we do not over leverage. So that is a good part that the government has implemented, because later on I'll share with you through a price index strategy, right? Why in the past there's a lot of fear going on, and in today's marketplace it seems to be safer for every one of us in property. All right, so for myself, why am I doing this is because we have guided so many successful homeowners that they have progressed in their property journey through our guidance, through our method, and eventually their lifestyle also improves. And that is what is most happy. And they will continue to introduce friends and clients to us because we have helped them progress in their property market. All right. So of course, we are also been invited for many different speaking engagements, through seminars, conferences, keynotes. And this is also a reason why I want to use different channels to reach out to as many homeowners as possible. So one of the channels that we have is, of course, our YouTube. And today, we have every single week, we will push out new content in our YouTube channel where you can be part of the community. And so I'm just going to give you guys like 20 seconds to just take out a phone, scan the QR code, all right, so that you can follow us through the education route in property. Today, I always believe that when the market has already improved, consumer behavior changes, you cannot use what you know 10, 20 years ago to do property today. That is going to be very risky. So this is one of the reasons why I have this YouTube channel where every single week we will push out new contents to get consumers or homeowners like you to be updated about the latest strategy, what is the market change, and you can actually make a decision for your own self later on. All right, so I'm going to give you guys 5 more seconds. Take out your phone and just scan the QR code. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you so much. Right, so not only that we have actually helped a lot of clients, we are also licensed in the number 0.1 top realtor in Singapore. All right, so why do I want to show you this? It's not I want to show off or whatever, but if today you can be the elite in the entire Singapore, that means we are doing things right. The clients are still approaching us and they're introducing people to us, and we are able to manage their property and portfolios a lot better. If not, we will not be able to last in this category since 2009 until now. Be it the market goes up or down, we are still in it because we have transacted over 700 over sales and purchases. This is outdated data. This is since 2002. And so it should be way more than this, but just know that this is how it goes. And with our own experience, we are not only just helping a lot of families and clients, we ourselves are also investors. We ourselves are also homeowners that we are in the market currently. It means today we are still selling, we're still buying. In this year itself, we have already transacted 2 of our own properties and we already purchased 2 more. So that's why we are always in the market to advise you what is the right directions that we should look forward. Not too long, right? Nobody can project 10 years or 15 years into it. But for a mid-term, like 3 to 5 years, 6 years, right? It is still very predictable in Singapore's property market. So of course, I can't do this alone. Okay, I can't do this alone. If not, every day I have no time. We only got 24 hours 7, right? So that's the reason why I also have my team that who are being mentored and trained by me to think the same way of how investors are going to be thinking like, and to help a lot more people out there where they also have their own friends, they have their own family members that they can empower with. So in a short while later on, I also will be sharing with you my exact method, all right, that I actually did this to grow our portfolio from 1 million to 3 million in just less than 5 years using a very safe way. How many of you want a safe way? Type in safe inside the chat. All right, it should be every one of you. So not time for you to write certain things inside the chat. Okay, so one key thing that one of the issue that I always see, or should I say a problem that I saw, is that today a lot of us, today we always have this notion that today I'm buying a property for own stay, then that's why I am a consumer. Okay, meaning I buy with the intention I just want to stay. So I would think that, oh, I just buy based on what I like, based on where I prefer. Maybe I'm very familiar with this location, that's why I buy. Okay, nothing wrong with it. So that's why you come in from a consumer mindset. But then there's a second group that you come in with a investor mindset, meaning you don't bother about where this property is. You just want to make sure that the numbers make sense. So how many of you find that you are in the consumer mindset or the investor mindset today when you start looking at property? All right, type in A or B inside the chat. Type in A or B. Again, there's no right or wrong answer here. We are all here to learn. So I want you all to start putting in your own thoughts. Why? Because that is how you think about property. And that's the reason why today you are here to learn what is happening. All right, there's no right or wrong answer. Thank you so much for some of you who put in as a consumer, and some of you put in that is B, right? B is an investor. Right, so that's why today, right, I want every one of you all can do me one thing. Can you help me with one thing? Today, I want you all to be open-minded. Okay, I want you all to be very open-minded into whatever I'm going to share with you today in this masterclass. Because why some of you may have bought property before. Okay, you may have some experience, or maybe the last round you buy property is just a couple of years ago. And maybe some of the things I'm going to share with you today, you may be like, hey, this one can meh, can do meh? You know, Edmund, are you sure this is the right way to do it? Can this be done? You know, there will always be some of all these doubts and questions that you may have along this class later on. Why? Because today you're coming in, you're supposed to learn new things. And if today there's a lot of things you don't know, because if you know everything already, you won't be here with spending your time here with me. So today, every one of you are here to learn. That's the reason why I want you all to be open-minded. Can you all type in open? I want you all to be open-minded. Type in open. Because the only way that you can be an open-minded, right, then you are able to absorb more understanding, more knowledge and education to help in your own thought process and your decision making. Thank you so much for those who have put in the open. Right, so there's some of you very quiet. I can see everything. So you all must give me some encouragement. If not, I'm staring at a blank screen. I also don't know whether you're listening, whether you all get it or not. So help me out by responding. That is the few. And the more that I see you all responding, maybe I'll give you all more tips on what are the things that we are seeing in the property market. All right, and later on, we will also be covering the Q&A. All right, so today I want to share with you today, why are we deciding be it a consumer mindset or investor mindset in the first place? So those of you who have chosen A, that means today you are thinking like a consumer. So am I right to say that if you're thinking of consumer, mindset, right? That means your property where you buy to stay is very important because that's what you're buying it for, right? And I've heard a lot of people sometimes share with me, no lah, I buy this one for own stay. Never make money is okay lah. Break even can really. How many of you got hear people say this before? Break even is enough. But because it's so comfortable, I don't mind paying more for it. I totally understand because that's where we call a cost of living comes in. The cost of living sometimes is we determine how much the cost is. It has nothing to do with the market. It has nothing to do with the value of the property, but it's just because we like it. That's all. We like the location. We like the high floor. We like the big unit. We like the renovation. Then we are willing to pay willing to pay more price to it. But why am I saying that? Why today we shouldn't be even looking at whether you're a consumer or as an investor? Because today, if you are thinking of consumer, you should be thinking that this is my own homestay. Whether my property grow or not grow, I actually don't bother. But let me ask every one of you here, there's so many of you here, right? If today I ask you to sell your property at the price you buy maybe a couple of years ago or 10 years ago, will you do it? Will you sell your property at the price you buy? Because you're buying for own stay, ma. So whether your property increase in value or not, actually you shouldn't be much concerned. But none of us will think that way, correct? Every one of us, when we buy a property, we will keep thinking, no, ma, next time when I sell, I should sell higher. So that has been implanted in all of us. So if you're thinking that at the end of the day, when you want to sell a property, you want to grow your value, you want to make money out from it, am I right to say that actually you're already thinking like investor? Because only investor then think about profits. Only investors think about my value increasing. A consumer will not need to think about that because we need to what? Home to stay. So today a lot of homeowners are mirroring these two things, and at the end of the day, they got themselves confused. Because if today you're thinking like a homeowner for consumer, right? You want to buy where you want to stay. But maybe this property is overpriced or the growth rate is not as high, you still buy. But 5 years later, you say, hey, how come my property never grow? You see, so that's why today I want to introduce you all a new term. So I want you all to be open-minded and become this, which is a homevestor. I want you all to become a homevestor. Everybody type in become a homevestor today. All right, today we want to what? Apply a lot of all these lessons later on I'm going to share with you. And I want you to become this homevestor. So when you start looking at property, right, it's not just about, oh, today I buy this one is for homestay, or I don't make money, it's okay lah. There must be certain element in terms of the value of the property that we still want to look at. All right, so type in homevestor for everybody of you. So of course, I started out not everything I know in property. So I started the journey very early in terms of property. And I also learned from the top guys in Singapore. I'm sure you have seen some of them, our CEO from PropNext itself. And when I start to learn property from them, you can see how young they are. You know, versus, I mean, not saying now lah, but now also younger. All right. So I also learned a lot of things from them. And I always ask myself, why would I want to go and figure it out myself when there are people who already have done it, they are successful, they may have made mistakes before that they can tell me that, hey, you should not do this. You know, I don't want to try to figure things out because I have no time. So I will want to go and learn from people who have done it. And they are the subject expert. They know what is happening into the property market. They can guide us where we want to go. And that is how I've chose to learn from them successfully and also have been able to very humbly buy and sell quite a couple of properties over this couple of years. And in today's market, even in this year, 2024, we have exited 2 properties and we are re-entering another 2 more properties. So this is why I want to share with every one of you here is, today you are learning from somebody, not just about on theory. Okay, whatever I'm sharing with you is a practical element that we will be able to guide you through because we ourselves are also doing it. So we know what are the problems that comes up. We know what are the risks that we can reduce to prevent you from making that kind of same mistake. All right. So let's start where the first secret is how do you position yourself in the market so that you can actually capitalize on this. So how many of you, whenever you wanted to do property, okay, you may be very worried about the big word called recession. Have or not? All right. Wow, recession coming. Maybe I should just wait to buy property. So how many of you did miss certain cycles in the property market? All right, you can be very upfront, transparent. Nobody here is to judge you. We don't know who you are anyway. right? But I want you to kind of ask yourself, over the last couple of years, have you missed out the opportunity in the property market because you are worried about recession? Right? So this is a big word. Recession. And sometimes recession is being blown up that without you understanding the fundamentals of Singapore property, you will miss out the opportunity just by itself. Why? Because every other year, there's actually recession going on. So there's also the one thing that I always share with my clients is today is not the recession that you are worried about. What you are worried is the fear. You are worried. You are fearful of the recessions. That if today the recessions come in, what will happen to my property? How many of you agree? If you agree, just type in one inside the chat. Type in one inside the chat. So this is the fear that every other year, whether it's 2016 Brexit, 2017, there's nuclear tests, US trade wars in 2018. Every other year, whenever you intend to go into property, right, you'll be like, hey, the war is going on. Let us take a step back. It's too risky because of fear. And you did not understand the fundamental of how Singapore property is being built on. You just look at the macro view of recession and then you say, no, let's wait for the recession over, then I enter the market. I know whatever I'm sharing with you right now, right? It will resonate with you if you have missed those opportunities. And I'm not consciously targeting at you. I'm not. But this is generally how we have noticed a lot of homeowners. They keep missing again and again and again. It's not that they don't want, but because they are fearful of entering the market with a lack of what? Knowledge. Without knowledge, you are very handicapped. Without knowledge, you'll be very fearful because you don't know how to interpret the market and you don't know how to enter the market to put yourself at the best, safest spot. Because today, my friend, if you have just bought something in 2016, even though we have all the bumps of all the different things going on, do you know that your property has already went up in 30%? Today, you just buy anything back in 2016. How many of you, if I give you a time machine back, right? If I bring you back to 2016, you'll buy 10 properties, right? Type in 10. All right. So this has always been playing in our mind again and again. But whenever it comes back to this, the same situation outplays itself again. Why? Because of fear. Because we are fearful of what is happening because of the lack of knowledge. So my role here today is really to equip you with the right understanding, right knowledge, so that you can feel safer when you are interpreting the market. And that's how we help clients to make better decisions. And I want to show you this is what is happening in the entire Singapore price index. So this is a price index where they gather the average pricing, whether it's a new, old, how many bedroom types, to kind of track where the performance of the market is. So a lot of homeowners, when I speak to, perhaps you yourself are also in this position, is that you are fearful of what? Why are we fearful to enter the property market? Why? Because we are fearful of this. Correct? We are fearful of the dips. We are fearful of the dips. Because in Asia financial crisis, the market went down 40%. And then in our dot-com SARS period, the market went down 20%. And in the global financial crisis, it went down 25%. This is what we are fearful about. How many of you agree? If you agree, just type in yes inside the chat. We are always worried today, I buy, what if the market comes down? That's why I'm very fearful about. Very common. But what you're missing out, my friend, is you never see the upswing. It came down 40, it went up 40. It came down 20, it went up 58. It came down 25, it went up 62. This is what we don't see, because for human being, we are being molded to always look at the fearful stuff. Very common. But you forgot to see on the upswing that today, the upswing, is it much more than the downturn? But of course, this is what happened in the past. But I want to use this to study and share with you all what is happening the before and after. And this is also the reason why you can see that when the market went up 62.2%, right, for 17 quarters, all these yellow lines are what? Cooling measures. So government also knows that it's a little bit heated up. They try to curb the market. They try to cool down the market. But did it work? It did not. Ever since 2009 onwards, it did not, because the market just went up high. There were a lot of undervalued property. There were a lot of, we call it the jump over the story kind of property that you can buy, all right? fire sale, bank sales. There was a lot of all this going on. And those with funds, they got money, they got deep pockets, they will just buy out properties. So sometimes they always share that today in this kind of market, there are some people who loses, some people who win. All right. So unfortunately, my family fall into the losing portion. And that there are also clients that I met, they make a lot from this period because they went on to purchase a lot of properties within their means. All right. So this is a very big learning experience that I had. And that's the reason why I'm very more kiasu, kiasi kind of, or whenever I deal with properties for clients and even ourselves, we want to take a step back to be a little bit more careful, but not to the extreme that you don't do anything. There will always be a threshold that, hey, it's safe enough for us to enter. It's whether somebody is there to give you the necessary information or resources to guide you through that process. So what happened here? This is the turning point. Okay, this is the turning point. Why? Because this turning point is where cooling measures came in. And cooling measures, as every one of you, is nothing new already. All right, we kind of got used to it after a couple of times. You don't know, like, oh, it's the same thing again. The TDSR, LTV, ABSD, everything is when 2013 came in. And you can see immediately what happened. The market came down 11%. But what's the difference? If you compare our 11% versus previously global crisis, our cooling measure is self-inflated, meaning government deemed that the market is too hot. That's why they cool it down. During that time, actually, the entire economy is actually very, very positive. So they try to cool down. Then what happened? Everything that been compressed will still eventually go up. So now you're looking at only the negative 11.6%. But do you notice the upswing? It went up almost 10% in a shorter period of time. So this is what the government does for cooling measures. And you can use this as a benchmark. Every time when the price index goes almost to double digit, they will come out a cooling measures, confirm. Because they don't want a double digit growth every year. It's going to be very scary when compounded. So when the price index goes close to the double digit, they will come out a cooling measure. And that's the signal that, hey, prices has already been too heated up. So during that time, they also came down, cooling measures. But this time around, what happened? You can see the effect starts to winder down, meaning the effect don't have much impact already. Because those who, right now, the market is very different from the past. Like in the past, I always call it a very speculative cowboy market. But in today's market with TDSR or cooling measures, right? Those who are buying are real buyers, meaning you have enough 25% to buy. You have enough borrowing ability to purchase a $2 million, $3 million property. And you have the finances to sustain your loan and your mortgage. So that is the reason why we are seeing the Singapore property market after 2013 to be even more secure. And those are real buyers. You have the money, you have the funds, you have the loans to be able to purchase. If not, you won't even be looking at properties. Does it make sense? So when it came down 0.7%, then what happened? It went up again. And this time around, faster. So you can see that there's a certain pattern going on. It came down 1%, government tried to cool, then went up 28%. That's the reason why during the last 1.5 years, you can see there's so many cooling measures. But to be honest, are there much impact? People are still buying. Why? Prices are still going up. Why? It's because of Singaporeans' capability of what? Doing investments. We have been doing it very well. We know there are more channels of investments that we can make, not just from property. And a lot of them, after they cash out from the stock markets or even crypto, the next thing they do is buy property. Okay, so this one is been a cycle. Everybody likes to invest back into property because it's a what? Hard asset. So you can see that even the last cooling measures, the numbers also was margin number. But what happened to the climb? The climb is so much faster. So today, right, I want you all to understand, if for the last maybe 10, 15 years, you have missed out in terms of opportunity in the market, very highly chance is because you are worried and you are looking at this cycle, the before cooling measure cycle. You are fearful of the 40%, you're fearful of the 20%, but you're fearful of the 25%. I can share with you, this is a outdated data already. This will never happen again because of how our Singapore finance structure has done to allow us not to over leverage. And there's a lot of control in terms of our interest rates, in terms of our ability of borrowing and our income as well. So you can see a very vast difference the before and the after. After, you can see that, yes, there are definitely speed bumps. Okay, speed bumps are all this, speed bumps. There are definitely speed bumps. We cannot say that our market will continue to climb. But is the speed bumps going to be affecting you when you hold your property? Because you can see that it's a upward trend. One of the key reasons a lot of homeowners are fearful is because if I buy already, if anything happens, I need to force myself to sell. So why this won't happen? Because there's also a 3 years minimum SSD, right? So by the time you hold on to this property over 3 years, has the market already climbed back up? This is a very clear indication that I want to share with you. Okay. So far, learning something so far. If you're learning something, can you type in learn inside the chat? Type in learn inside the chat. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so because why? Because this, if you don't understand this, you'll be forever staying in this, which is a fear situation. You don't understand the fundamental. You'll always be feeling fearful, and no matter good opportunities are in front of you, you will miss it because nobody is there to guide you. So let us study what happened based on supply and demand. And this is one of the key, one of the key criteria that we use to benchmark how we enter and exit from a property market. So in 2017 and 2018, right, there was a very high supply situation. You can see the numbers. These are all the completed units. So during 2017, 2018, there was a lot of TOP property during that, a lot. That is why you can see that the price, the property is very high. And let me ask every one of you here, based on simple economics, when there's a lot of properties, there's a lot of supply, what will happen to price? Price goes up or come down when there's a lot of supply? Come share with me your answers at the bottom. There's no right or wrong answer. Huh? All right. Thank you so much for JY who actually mentioned. So when you have a high supply, right, price comes down, right? So that is fundamental. And if let's say today you have a low supply situation, then what happened to price? Go up or come down? All right, goes up. Thank you so much. So this is why you can see with our projection, this is back in 2017, 2018. We already know that the supply are not going to be enough. And these are all M&D information that you can actually extract from online one. But the question is, do you have the time to go and study this first? Do you know actually where to find these resources? And do you even have access to understand this market? So if today you already have a crystal ball and you know that the supply is not going to be enough moving forward into the 2021 period, where will you want to buy property? Will you buy property at A or will you buy property at B? Let me ask every one of you here. Okay, put inside your answers. There's no right or wrong again. All right, let's learn by participating. There's so many of you here, but I'm not getting a lot of response. Quite sad. Am I boring you? I don't think so, right? So make sure you all use your fingers. Use your fingers to type. Because this is how one of the key situations, and I'll share with you my own personal property investment also. I studied based on supply and demand, and this is one factor only. It's not the only factor. So don't just say that, hey, I just based on supply and demand to buy property, and then you will what? No, please. This is just one of them. If property is so easy by looking at supply and demand, then everybody what already, you see. So, but what if, let's say today I can show you, how many of you want to see what's going to happen in the next few years? What's the projection? Want to see or not? Hey, then you all must respond. Okay, this time around, if you all don't respond, I don't share. Come on, time in one. I want to see as many ones as possible before I share what the projection of what's going to happen in the next couple of years. This is very important. Hey, more, come on, more ones. Yes, thank you. Must ask. Must back for this. All right. So this is what is going to happen moving forward from 2023, 2024. So if you can see, right, are we also in a very high supply situation currently? There's a lot of TOP projects. All right. During this period, there was a lot. Suddenly, the market flooded with so many new launches, just TOP. So there was a lot of supply in the market. But at the same time, today, we are also seeing that the supply is going to reduce over time. So what does this say? This actually guides us that today, if you want to actually enter into the property market and you want to reap in a very good return, you must also study where the supply is going to end. Will this supply continue to fall? Is also there's scarcity in land, so they cannot forever keep increasing in terms of the government land sales. And why this happened is also largely because of COVID. During the COVID, the 2 years, there was no land being released. And that's why there's a pent-up actually of land that government has to release to catch up with the purchaser and the supply, the demand going on. So this is one key indicator that today, if let's say I ask you, you want to buy a property here, or you want to buy a property here, all right, type in your answer. Because supply and demand is just one factor. When we go into our consultation with clients, right, we go deeper. We even go into population. Why is it that recently the government released out the population that the amount over 6 million? Because when we have more population, and if we don't have enough supply in the marketplace, what will happen to price? Okay, these are all very strong indicators that we use to direct our purchase and our investments as well. So today, my friends, you know that the supply moving forward into 2027, 2028 is going to come down. So when you sell, where will you want to buy? You want to buy an A or you want to buy a B? Using just now, we understand for price at this portion, when there's a high supply, prices will come down, and price when there's low supply will go up. Right, so that is the reason why you are also seeing that today's market actually is a little bit muted. So my role is today, every one of us are fearful. Why? Because the prices seems very high. But let me ask you, with understanding this, do you think the market will continue, in terms of prices, will continue to go up because there's a lack of supply? See, this is a very key fundamentals that today, if you have this extra resources, you have this extra amount of data, can it help you to make a better informed decision? All right, so I'm going to share with you the exact method how we do it ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back into the past in 2018. Why? Because during 2018, right, it was a very high price environment, very high price. Okay, so of course, now you look back, is 2018 very cheap? Of course, look very cheap. But during then, you don't know, you don't know what's going to happen 2019 and beyond. So very fairly, if I ask every one of you, will you buy property in 2018 based on price index very high? Okay, you all can type in yes or no inside the answer. There's no right or wrong. Because why? Today, if we start seeing from a negative, it suddenly went on to almost 10% situation, you will be very concerned. Wow, now prices at an all-time high. I better don't do anything. Let's wait for the prices to come down to act. Agree? And not only that, during then, the market condition is actually not favorable. There was US trade wars going on. Our economy is actually dipping down. So there was a lot of uncertainty during 2018. Okay, if some of you have gone through and you remember, then chances are with this additional information, will you buy property? You also will say, no lah, let's wait for the recession to be over. That's during then everybody was talking recession, right? And not only that, our interest rate very high. Right? In comparison to last time, it was higher. Then you also concerned, wow, interest rate goes up already. Maybe I shouldn't look at property. Maybe I should wait for it to come down, then I buy. And during then, our inflation was also very high. It has been climbing. So all these thoughts, do you agree, are very negative noises that you always see on newspaper, you hear from friends, you see social media, they always talk about, wow, war going on, this. It's very negative. Then that's what makes you fearful. You fear. And even though you have the capability, even though you know that, hey, you should be moving forward with your property plan, you step back and you choose not to do it because of all this situation. And not all cooling measures during then came in. When it came in, do you still dare to buy property? So let me ask every one of you here. Actually, whatever I share with you, right, is it very familiar? Is it very familiar to current times that we are also experiencing high prices, high interest rate? Of course, interest rate already start coming down. Our cooling measures was introduced. There was a lot of all this uncertainty, and there was also wars going on. So today, my friend, you must understand, history usually don't repeat itself. But there are certain traits they will definitely rhyme. Okay, they will kind of show certain signs. And that's why I want you all to understand before you actually start doing it. And this is also one of the key reasons why we ourselves in 2018, we went to buy a property. Okay, you may say, hey, Eman, 2018 you buy property. Sure or not? The market so high price, high interest rates. Why are you so anyhow go into the market. Let us wait first, wait for the market to come down, then we go in. But when we study the property market, we research it, we realize actually we need to play a different game. If we follow what everybody is doing, all the noises, right, then you'll be losing out opportunities. So during the 2018, we went on to buy a 2-bedroom, 700 square feet, okay, at 1.059 million. So if I had known, right, everybody, would you buy a bigger property if you had known? You will definitely buy a bigger property also, right? But of course, same thing. We are also conservative, right? We need to also make sure that our numbers and we plan for the worst. So this is how we help every one of you out there. Today, yes, we are not saying that we anyhow enter the market. But if we can afford it, there's a sustainability that we can actually continue the property. What is the worst case situation? You see, that's what we always plan for. So eventually what happened? 2022, we sold this property. All right, we sold this property for 1.28 million. Was it a good market during then? It was just after COVID, but at least you have hedged against inflation, you have hedged the property against the market. And eventually from a 1.05 million, we actually pocket about almost 200,000. That becomes your first pot of gold that you can reuse it again. So let me ask every one of you, if let's say today I ask you 2020 to buy property, do you dare? This was in June. What happened in June? May was COVID. May lockdown was COVID lah. So we just finished COVID. We immediately went to buy property based on our numbers. And we bought, again, a 2-bedroom unit. So looking back at 1.15 million, looking back, I should have bought a 4-bedroom, 3 or even 4-bedroom. I could have bought a 4-bedroom. But of course, during COVID, nobody knows when is it going to recover. We really don't know. But when we go back to our fundamentals, when we run through our numbers, right, we know that if we are able to purchase this property, eventually, when the market recovers by itself, I don't know when, I can still pay for this property. So, my friends, today, if you are fearful going to the property market, right, likely it's because you may be overstretching yourself. That means your numbers, you're not working it right. You are fearful that one day, if let's say I'm not working anymore, can I continue to pay this property? If the moment you start thinking that, that means you have not run enough assessment about your finances. So you will have to be very careful about doing property. So on our role, we always want to make sure the finances are strong enough that regardless of any market condition, right, you can continue to hold that property. And that's why when I bought this just after COVID, right, we have no stress over it. Yes, the only stress is everybody keep telling me, Edmund, are you sure not? You don't know when COVID is going to finish. You buy now, what if you cannot pay? What if no tenant? How? See, a lot of all these concerns definitely are valid. So these are also some of the concerns maybe you are also thinking, and that's why it prevents you from entering the property market. So what happens? 2020. So this is what happened when we pull out some of the data, right? So my unit is on the 14th floor. Okay, everybody say 14 cannot buy. I also buy 14. Okay, no numbers, doesn't matter one. All right, so if I use a same comparison, same size unit, this is a 20th floor. People are already sold at 1.52 million. Okay, a higher floor than me. And the lower floor at 8th floor is about 1.48 million. So is it fair for me to say that today, if I want to sell my property value should be about 1.5 million? Is it fair? 1.5 million. Should be quite fair because higher floor 1.52 and the lower floor is 1.48. So we just exited this property, okay? And we sold it at how much? What is it, the price? 1.52 million. We just exited this property. So I'm sharing with you all real life situation, not 10 years ago, not even 3-4 years ago. Exactly right now, we are still selling and we are still buying. So with the exit of this property, I'm also in the market to hunt for property. So that's the reason why if today you are also in the same period, that means you can actually follow my research to actually purchase a property. Of course, timing still plays a part. All right. So back in the when I bought the 1.05 million property, actually during that time, there's a couple of our clients in the same situation. They can purchase the property and they actually follow our research to purchase those property and they cash it out after that as well. So I'm sharing with you all this is not tell you that, hey, today you must go into the property market. I'm saying that if today you really want to enter into the property market, you need to have somebody to handhold you. Somebody who have already done it. Somebody who have actually grown their value in their property in the past to guide you through. And not just somebody who just come in and tell you to do this, but they themselves never do. All right, so this is very crucial that I want to really empower every one of you here. There's a lot of agents out there, there's a lot of people out there who can tell you the sky, but have they actually done it themselves? That is a big question mark. Okay, so I also want to take some time, right, to kind of share with you. Some of you may be holding on to HDB, all right, and I just want to give you some heads up of what do I see in the property market for HDB. So today, HDB is also the same thing. You're at a peak of the market. Why the peak? Because you're higher than the 2013 peak. So a lot of homeowners who are holding on to HDB, right? Maybe if let's say you have purchased the property somewhere around here before, you could be what? Waiting 7 to 8 years, right? Even if during these 7 to 8 years you wanted to sell your property and you wanted to change location or upgrade, right? You don't dare to do it. Because why? The property market came down. And if you do anything, it's going to be a negative sale. So you will most likely don't do anything, you will stay put. Because by the time you return your CPF, everything, there's no cashback. Okay, and this do happen for properties. Don't say this don't happen. Especially HDB for the older properties, chances are it's going to be a negative sale. Okay, so you could have already been what? Waiting for a peak period. You could be waiting for a swing up, uptrend situation. And this is to your favor right now. But then you'll be asking another set of questions. Now so high already. Yeah, I can grow. My property now is positive. But if I sell my property high, I also buy high. Then I rather don't do. Sound familiar enough? So this is always the cycle that always has been happening. That's the reason why I always like to go back to fundamentals. Because today, let me ask every one of you here. If let's say you today you own a HDB, what is the likelihood that we are now at the peak of the market? You will be hearing $1 million HDBs every way. What is the possibility of, number one, you all can choose 1, 2, 3. Number one, HDB continue to go up in prices. Number two, muted, slower. Okay, slower growth. Or 3, came down. What is your answer? What would you think will happen if now you start seeing this trend that the property HDB has already went up to its highest point in the market? Would it continue to go up? Would it be a little bit slower, stagnant, or muted? Or would it come down? Because this is very real, my friends. Okay, to you as a homeowner, you must understand to project what is going to happen so that you can make a better decision today. All right, thank you so much for those who have responded. Some of you responded, it's going to go up, continue to go up because of all the $1 million. Some of you say that it's coming down due to whatever reason. So I share with you my projection. Okay, my projection is not based on guessing. My projection is, this is what's going to happen for HDB. First, we are already sensing in the property market for HDBs, buyers are not willing to pay too much already. That's why our on the ground sensing is to transfer it back to you as a client to help you make a better decision. So there are still a lot of homeowners, right? They are still at the peak point. They are still asking their prices very, very high, hoping that they can get this price. But today, if you ask me, we are already coming down, starting to come down, not the lowest, but starting to come down. Because why? Today, do you think government will continue to let our HDB prices go up and up? You'll be surprised. The other day I was with a client, right? Jurong East HDB can be $1 million. Can you imagine? Jurong East, it's not even Toa Payoh, or some of the very prime location in Dawson, all this. Jurong East can go above $1 million. How many of you are shocked? If you guys are shocked, I've been shocked. Because I also shocked when I look at the numbers. I said, Jurong East can be 1 million. So if HDB prices continue to go up, what will happen? Because HDB is not for profit making, right? We all know. It's supposed to be a public housing, affordable housing for everybody. So what will the government do in order to make sure the prices are affordable? So this is a very open discussion. They are going to inject 100,000 supply by 2025. So just now you all learned from supply and demand situation. If we have a lot of supply into the market, what will happen to price? Because Singapore, the government cannot continue to let the HDB prices continue to go up. It's the same situation for a lot of the homeowners right now when they're holding on to their older HDB. Right? They are wondering, today, if I continue to hold my property, will I be able to cash out in future because of decaying lease? You see. So like for example, Emily and Yatong, same thing. They were staying in one of the Sengkang MRT Compassville, right? And they are wondering how come they've been staying there for the last 8 years. Their property never really grow. Because when they purchased that time, I don't know whether you all remember, they bought it during the 2012 and 2013, where there's a very high COV. They went in with a high COV. And the reason why they pay high COV is because there's not enough supply. That's the reason they have to pay. So when they are paying high price, then they realize, hey, how come whenever I see other people property, they can grow, but my kind of don't grow. So that's the reason why they reach out to us. We restructure their portfolio a little bit. And eventually we went on a 234,000 gain in just 30 months when we swapped their underperforming property to a better performing property. This is something that I always ask. Why are we holding on to a non-performing property? Because you're losing value, you're losing money inside the property. Just in terms of inflation, it's going to kill you if your property is not performing. Your accrued interest that you're using from your CPF, if it's not growing, then you are what? It's a deficit. So you must start looking at properties from a Homevestor perspective that today is not just a home. I also need to make some calculated risk, right? To make sure that my property can hedge over the inflation, can hedge over even my CPF interest that basically I could be earning just by putting my money in CPF. So these are how we think as a Homevestor, right? To guide you all through the position of the property. So many of you will have a choice to make, because many of us will be going back to the same route of how we look at property. And today, if you have a new way of seeing properties as we move forward into the future, right? Will it be helping you to make a better informed decision looking into the future? So that's why I want you all to focus on this. And later on, I'll be sharing with you all the concept of property ladder. All right. Very key, important property ladder. And two essential criteria, right, that you must do in your property to make an informed decision. So that's why you all must stay all the way to the end, because I've also prepared something of a bonus for every one of you. So you must stay all the way. When you stay all the way, I will share with you how potentially you all can actually work with us very closely to have access to all this data, to have access to all this information that you don't have access to. All right. So secret number 2, I want to give you guys a quick overview, right? So let me ask every one of you here, what factors determine if a property goes up in value? What are the factors? All right, it could be anything that you can think of. There's no right or wrong answer. All right, so share with me a little bit like, okay, what are the things that you are thinking? If I have this in my property value will go up. Come. All right, thank you so much. Some of you were sharing master plan, shopping mall, MRT, someone say freehold, development, schools. Totally agree. So these are a lot of homeowners, because you all don't look at property daily, or whatever you may understand right now is what you used to know. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong, but I want to support it with additional information before we make any informed decision. Because today, what you are going to buy into in today's heated market, right, is that the prices is a new benchmark. So you have to be extremely careful in doing that so that your property can be safeguarded, right? In a last time, they always say, well, last time prices very cheap. Yeah, if you look at last time, but last time when they buy also, in that time is also very expensive, right? You see, so our property prices keep going up, but the key thing is how do we safeguard ourselves from buying a too expensive property? So whatever you guys have shared, interest, new MRT, supply, demand, yeah, all these are important categories. So let me share with you today, if we say MRT, then how come there will be properties that is very near MRT? Basically, you can walk to the MRT and their performance is losing up to 200 over 1,000. Right? Why would that be? Why is that so? Okay. And if let's say we say that a freehold property in a very prime location is actually very ideal for us to buy and we can make profits from it. Like River Valley is a good location, right? So this is a freehold property some more. Then how come there are also properties like this that loses up to 200 over 1,000? Why is this happening? All right, so there are some what you call it, confusion in the marketplace. Everybody say go and buy new launch should make money. Is it true? It's not. Huh? And some of them say, hey, you buy resale, resale will not make you profits or everything. Hey, it's also very untrue. So don't take all this as blanket statement. Sometimes, unfortunately, homeowners, we tend to just take a blanket statement, whatever the headlines tell us, and then we just do it. Right? So I want to do a quick exercise, and I want every one of you to participate, because this is going to help you understand how we use data to guide you through a decision-making process. Okay? So today we have two choices. Let's say today you are a home investor or Homevestor. You want to buy with a 1.5 million budget. And you're looking at option A, a resale condo, 2-bedroom, freehold, okay? And you are within 1 km to the MRT. The rest of the parameters are the same. Or you will want to choose B. I'm a 2-bedroom, but this time around, I want to choose a leasehold property and my distance to the MRT is more than 1 km. Today, you are an investor with 1.5 million. Which one will you choose? Put in your answers at the bottom. All right, like I say again, I want you all to start thinking how you are buying a property. Again, there's no right or wrong answers. Okay, because this is where you learn, you start learning. Okay, so whether you are choosing A, a freehold within 1 km to MRT, or B, a resale leasehold property that is more than 1 km to the MRT. You see, so that's why we want to use this as a guide, because a lot of times there may be certain parameters that we are very strict about. That means, oh, I die must buy near MRT, and everybody say buy MRT, confirm can sell better. Yeah, that's why the recent launches all near MRT all sell better, right? But is that the case? We also must be very careful to understand. You see, because why? The market has changed. Today, are these factors still important to us? 20 years ago, perhaps. But 20 years today, is this still valid? We must use what? Research and data to guide us through. All right, come on. There are so many of you, but I don't see every answers. Can you type in A or B? All right, so we have some of you who says A. All right, A, because it's a freehold. Thank you so much for all your participation. This is part of learning process. All right, so how do we judge? How do we make a decision? So let me share with you. So this is where we come into our pro trend, right? That I will be able to actually pull out of various data to actually plot out and have a very clear indication which property type is performing better. Because today, if I'm a home investor, I'm also looking at today, I want my property to perform well. And I want to use data to guide me through a filtering process to make a better informed decision. So what we are doing here, right, is I will be able to actually choose a lot of parameters to put in, and all these are live information. That means every transactions coming in, we will be able to pull out all these things live to help you gain access. That's why the resources are very important for you. So let's say today we are looking at a sale type, which is a resale property. So we can just fill in all the information. And the option A is a freehold property, right? And it's near to MRT. So it's within 1 km to MRT. I can even fill in primary school. I can even go to what? Specific MRT if I want to, if you are looking for any kind of properties. And today, our tenure for option A is a freehold. My bedroom types is 2. I'll just fill in the information. And the reason why we put in more than 100 units is because today, if you want to buy a property, try to avoid anything less than 100, all right? Because why? Less than 100 units, you may not have enough transaction volume to help push up your prices. So that says it's not all boutique properties cannot purchase. It really depends on your situation, where your plans, your current funds, how are you placing for your portfolio. So in this case, we are going to leave the size pro level. Like I say, we are looking from a broader view perspective first. And because I have 1.5 million, I will just indicate my transaction value for 1.5 million. And I want my capital, my rental, at least minimum 3.5%. So this allows me to actually pull out all the information across the entire Singapore. I can also choose districts if I want to. I can even choose within I want OCR, CCR, RCR. I can do all this. But for today's exercise, I'm just going to do the entire Singapore and see what's the response and what's the result like. All right, so we'll pull out the data. So this information allows me to even go into the districts, like how much the average per square foot for a 2-bedroom unit in the freehold status as well as within 1 km. We will be able to see how many projects and what's the volume like. I will be able to even pull out more details into each individual district's projects. And if you can see, we will have even the rental yield is going at how much, what is the sizes, where is the nearest MRT. They even show you within 1 km which MRT is it near. So this allow us to what? Do a more concise research for you and not just based on guessing. So today for this example, we're going to what? Plot this out and to see, is this performing better than a leasehold property and further away from MRT? So I'll be able to pull this trend all the way since our data is available since 1995. And let me just rename this so that it's easier for us to see later on. Okay, so let me just retype this as freehold and 1 km MRT. So you can see that we are able to actually plot out trends like this, and we can even add in, if I want to see the price quantum, I can even go in to see my logo, my volume, and even cooling measures when the cooling measures are being done. So let's just look at price quantum, for example. See, we can even see a lot more details from this. So this is the freehold 1 km trends, and you can see that it is upward trend. But let us compare it to the what? The resale condo, which is leasehold and away from 1 km. So we do the same thing, but this time round, we will choose the MRT instead of 1 km. Now we say more than 1 km. Let's say 2 km. And my tenure this time around also different because I need to choose a leasehold property. The bedroom type is the same, 2-bedroom. And my number of units, minimum also 100 units. And my transaction value is also at 1.5 million. And my rental yield minimum, I need to have 3.5%. So I'm putting in all the parameters the same, except the leasehold as well as more than 1 km to the MRT. So we will plot this out again. And this will be a different set of data that we can use to compare. So right now, let's put both data together. So this is how we help you all to actually do a better comparison. So let me rename this again. This time round for the red color one is, wait, let me just show my keyboard. Okay, so this is leasehold. Okay, more than 1 km. Leasehold, more than 1 km. Short form now. All right, so you can see actually both properties are trending upwards. So the key thing is that then how do we determine actually if today I want to have an overview, which type of property should I go for that gives me a better kind of safety? Okay, I'm always looking at safety. So let's ignore the 2024 because 2024 has not over yet, right? What I can do is I can look at the last 10 years and let's just use the last peak, which is 2013. And this is the freehold 1 km. You can see that today, if I base it on the last 10 years, you will be about 24% growth over the last 10 years, which means if you bought a freehold property that is within 1 km, your growth is about 24%, right? Which is very decent over 10 years, right? But let's look at the example for leasehold that is away from MRT. Let us plot it, and then let's see. Do you see it's 39% compared to 24%. So this is also one way that we are using to guide you through how we look at properties. How many of you are shocked that actually the leasehold is outperforming the freehold in this example? Type in shock if you find that, oh, this is something I don't expect. You see, so sometimes when we are buying property, we are basing on our own thought process, but it may not translate using data. So using data, we are able to kind of give us a better support. Okay, we're not saying that you cannot buy what you like, but with a certain additional support, it can help us to understand where the market is heading to make the difference. Because today, if you're buying for freehold, right? Imagine, can you see, today, if you buy a freehold property, right, you're paying 21% more, eventually for the freehold status. But right now, are you seeing freehold status also narrowing? Freehold status to leasehold is also narrowing. So are we going to see a shift in terms of Singapore property market between the freehold and leasehold? Based on my research, I think we're going to see a big shift coming up very, very soon in terms of when I see the data trends. So how many of you find that this is actually useful to support? How many of you believe that this is helpful? So this is one way that we help to guide you through in terms of the property purchase. And like Winston, when Winston purchased a property before, right, he was also very confused. Like, hey, should I buy a new launch? Where should I buy? Or what do I buy? And then when he reaches out for a one-on-one consultation, right, what he realized is that we are here to guide him to understand how the real estate market environment is like. So we also went through his finances, making sure all the fees are all your down payment, everything is also under the same. And then when we go and we go what? Real estate strategy. So that's why we want to guide you through a process. And using our research data and numbers, he has a better understanding about the transformation of Singapore and the real estate market. So my role is not to tell you what to do. I need to educate you. I need to get you both up to date, right? Like what is actually happening in Singapore for the next couple of years. Then you can make a better informed decision for yourself as well as your family. So even to the selection process in the shortlisting units, right, we are also involved in this situation. For them, they went for the bidding process, and we actually are able to guide them through, okay, what is the unit that we should look at? What is the facing that we should go for? What kind of pricing we should walk away? So all these things are very important. And at the end of the day, what we want is every client to be very confident and comfortable. So today you're not buying a $2 stuff, you're buying $1 million worth of properties. You need to make sure that at the end of the day when you buy, you don't just nudge your spouse, hey, do you think we buy a right property or not? The moment when you ask yourself that, right, then chances are you have not done enough homework. So this is something you have to be very, very careful about. Okay, so today, how many of you agree that, hey, the REI method is kind of interesting? There's a lot of things that it can actually help you. Because today there's whatever it took us weeks and months to collect data and tabulate, right? Now it can be done in such a faster approach, right? So that you can save time. And through us, you save time, you save resources, and you have access into the right numbers, right information to make a decision. So that's why today you have a choice to make one. You have to understand and decide. Do you still want to use your old way of thinking, your old way of looking at properties, or will you want to have the new way of access to support some of the things that you've been doing and to decide whether this is the right path that you can go for? So this is where we come in to provide you all this information, right? Because today I can share with you a lot of people are making mistakes, and even through the new launches, even resale market, they are not going through a proper process because they are basically like supporting a friend. Oh, my friend is helping me give them business, even though they may be non-experienced or may not be knowing what they are doing. Okay, so a lot of us, we have come across where clients, they went through their friend, whether it's a sale process or the buying process, they want to support a friend. I'm not saying that is wrong or not right to support your friend, but you need to also ask them whether have they done it before. Especially some of a lot of people are going for new launches. You have to ask yourself, today actually the agent who's helping you, have they actually also bought new launches? So why are they advocating for new launches, but have they actually done it themselves? And also, if they have done it, was it 5 years ago? Was it 10 years ago? Or is it as recent as now? You have to start understanding that today, if anyone out there, they can sell you anything, but can they support you in all the mistakes that you could be falling into, all the price traps that you are falling into without you realizing, because they may not have done it before, you see. So also, you also have to find out, if let's say they have invested in property, what is their growth rate like? How has their value increased? Did they make a profit from it? All these are very key questions that you need to ask your fellow agents and everything. So during the launch period, that's where when we are helping our clients to do balloting, right? It's not just about buying the property. Oh, you got this budget law, you go and buy law. This is the facing you want, buy lah. All right. We actually went through preparation for ballot day, selection of units. There's a lot of things that we do, and we don't just stop there. Okay, we don't just stop there. Why? Because after you purchase a property already, we are also going through a lot of post-purchase follow-ups. We do a lot of during construction timeline that will help you to monitor what is happening to your property. And most importantly is when the TOP, how are we going to assist you in terms of collecting your key? We do our complimentary defect checks as well as another property review to see where your property has grown in value. All right, so this is how we are able to guide you through. If let's say today you are growing for new launches, and then you say that, hey, I really need somebody to guide me through, and I want this relationship to continue, not just about the purchase, but moving forward, how you can capitalize using that property to continue to grow and elevate your assets. Which comes to the third secret. This third secret, I want you all to really, really listen in carefully. Because today, right, no matter you are here, you miss your opportunity or not, whether today after today's class, you want to continue to do your property or not, it doesn't matter. Because property prices will continue to increase with or without you anyway. So it's a matter of whether are you in the loop, are you in the right mind to understand property fundamentals to enter the market so that you can ride together with the wave. Because without you buying or without you entering the property market, there are people also doing it. And then prices will continue to go up and you just sit on the sidelines. And because there are already areas in Singapore that is zoned for future transformation growth. And this is why in this third secret, I want you all to really seriously go and clear off everything that you have. I want you all to listen very, very carefully. I'm going to introduce you all to what we call the property ladder. Okay, what is a property ladder? So a lot of us, we start off with what? We start off with a HDB. Okay, we start off with a HDB. And then eventually we go to a what? Condo. Okay, we go to condo. And some of us, we are fortunate enough, we are able to go to what? Even to additional condo, right? And some of us, we can go to even what? Landed property. So this is what I call a progression, right? That as today, when we are going from a progression point of view, we are getting and climbing the property ladder. So today, let me have an understanding of who is here today. You know, how many of you are actually in which situation. So that later on, as I share with you this third secret, I can be very specific to your situation. So today, if you are a HDB owner and you're looking into upgrading to a condo, can you type in A so that I can understand and I can share with you a little bit more in details? And today, if you're a condo homeowner, you're intending to go for a 2-condo situation, can you type in B? Type in B inside. And maybe perhaps you already have a condo and you want to upgrade yourself to a landed property, you can also type in C. And for a very small group of you, maybe you have already owned every one of this and you are looking to right size. Okay, you are looking to right size, you can type in D. Okay, so maybe you are looking at your retirement situation, you want to kind of clear off all your properties so that you can retire very comfortably in a smaller unit, that kind of situation, you can actually type in A, B, C, or D. Thank you so much. Wow, so we have quite a couple of you who are in the A zone. Thank you. And also some of you in the B zone. Okay, so my role is to put this ladder in front of you, right? And then we guide you to climb it step by step. So sometimes people always tell you that, hey, I'm very risky. That if we do property, we keep, you know, buying and changing and upgrading. Is it really worth the effort? So I'm going to introduce you 2 methods. Okay, so today's this secret number 3, you need to make a sound decision. You need to make a compelling, informed decision. Which options suit you best? Because if not, today you'll be stagnant, you'll be where you are at the moment if you don't start doing things as a homevestor. So remember, as a homevestor is we want our property to continue to, these big words I want you all to remember, and I want you all to write down, grow. Can you all write down, grow? You want your property to grow. The moment your property don't grow, you need to start thinking how to improve your situation. All right, typing grow. So this is, as a homevestor, on top of our mind, this is what we are doing. That's why these 2 strategies that I'm going to share with you, you need to decide which strategy makes sense for you. Very important. The first strategy I want to share with you is called the asset building strategy. So what is an asset building strategy? And I want you all to write this down. This is extremely important. Once you miss this, it's very difficult for you to catch up already. Okay, you must listen. So what is an asset building strategy? Basically, we all buy property. We all start off with our capital, correct? So this is where your understanding of leverage comes in. Today, we are not buying, let's say, a 2 million property. We are not buying 2 million. We are only using 25% of that 2 million to purchase this property, correct? Because the rest of it, 75% are leverage. So when we leverage it, we are only coming out 25% of equity, which is your funds, your total funds. And over time, when this property increase in value, let's say they increase by 15%, the 15% is not on the 25%. It's not. It's not. It's actually on the full 100% that eventually your property value is. So this is why leverage is to our advantage. And this is a situation where a lot of homeowners, they stop. Why? What happened? Because their property has already increased in value, they say that, hey, my property has already increased. Wow, then I continue to stay. So this has always been the strategy for my parents' generation. All right, if you know somebody who are in the previous generation, they will buy a property, they will stay on for 20, 30 years. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, they never even thought of buying and selling that kind of situation because during that time, the environment don't allow or they lack the understanding, they don't have the knowledge, they are not exposed. So it's very understandable. But today, why are we still stopping here when the environment has already changed and you are still using an old school method of doing? So nothing wrong with buying a property. My property has grown and then I continue keeping it because your profit is already been protected. That's one. But today, if you want to grow, remember our keyword, grow. You want to grow how fast or how slow is really entirely up to you. But today, if you want to grow your assets, you want to what? Unlock it. You want to unlock the capital and the profits out from your property to redo it again. And the reason why we do this is because if you stop doing anything after your property has already increased in value, our age is not to our favor. Our age always increases, which means our borrowing capability drops. And if we don't do it as early as possible to borrow and to use our capital and funds to improve our situation, we will only be able to buy smaller and smaller property. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So let me share with you a case study. All right, so this is a Park Rivera property that was purchased in 2017. Okay, 2017 for 1.332 million. Okay, so to buy this property in 2017, this is a 3-bedroom. Okay, a 3-bedroom unit. To buy this property, we have to come up with a initial capital about 368,000 inclusive your buyer's stamp duty. So we need to calculate everything in. So eventually this property over 4 years, right? This property increased in value to 1.63 million. So from 1.332 million went up to 1.63 million. So we will want to calculate everything that we have spent on. And at the end of the day, even agent's commission, we will calculate in. At the end of the day, your capital balloon up to 563,000. So remember, your initial capital is from 368, now balloon to 563. So this property profits out about 200,000 for you. And with your capital about 368,000, total 563,000, that you can unlock and reuse it. All right, so this is where the first stage comes in. The first stage, first cycle. Okay, first cycle. So most people, they say, hey, my property already increased in value, I'll stop here. So if you stop here, great, your property is worth 1.63 million, that's it. All right, you can continue hold this property over time. But today, if you understand the asset building strategy, you unlock your capital. So we are basically unlocking what? Our capital plus our profit out. To do what? To do the next cycle. So now I have a bigger overall new capital to work with, plus my age, my loan capability. I can go to buy I can go and buy a $1.8 million property. So do you see that your purchasing quantum goes up from 1.32 million, now goes to 1.8 million. So this is what we call asset building. You need to build a bigger asset. But this time around, you can say, hey, Edmund, how come you say upgrade, upgrade, upgrade? But now you buy a 2-bedroom, hey, there's a downgrade. So that is where upgrades got different terms. You can upgrade based on size. You can buy upgrade based on location. You can upgrade based on type, maybe from HDB to condo, condo to landed. So there's also an upgrade based on location. You see, so there's different levels of upgrade. So today, why would we want to 1.6 million to go in to buy a 2-bedroom because of a change of location? Well, here is in River Valley, and this property is basically in a prime location where we know that there's upside. So today, if you go in to this property, right, in 2021, we bought this property and we exit in 2024. You exited in 2024, right? And how much did we sell it for? 2.16 million. See, so the property in the next 3 years actually increased almost 20% profit. And we do the same thing all over again. And at the end of the day, what happens here is that your new capital after minus all the costs, it now becomes 783,000. So in a short 2 cycles, 7 years, you balloon your initial capital of 368,000 now becomes 783,000. And did we use any of your additional cost of your savings, your other funds or not. No, we are only using the capital and the profit from the property itself to unlock it up and use leverage to continue grow our property while we can still work, while our income is still there. That's how we grow. And what happens next? You will take the same improved capital, you go on to the next property. This one still don't know which one to buy it. Okay, still don't know which one to buy it. So, but eventually, right now you grow your 783,000 put into a what? $2.5 million property. Do you see it went up from 1.3 million to 1.8 million, now to 2.5 million? And eventually, if this property, we want to sell it at 2027, which is why when we look at it, it's based on supply and demand, one of the indicator that I shared with you just now, my capital has already grown up to what? 1.128 million. So let me ask every one of you here, in a short 3 cycle, and this 3 cycle is about 10 to 11 years, I have grown 368,000 all the way to a 1.128 million in terms of capital. Can you save up so fast based on your work, based on your bonuses, based on your income? This is a reality check, my friend. I'm not saying that we cannot work, we shouldn't do it. But if we are working hard to save the money, it will never be as fast. So one of the key things that I always teach to my clients, right, is that today in the families is you must use money to work harder for you. Yes, you definitely have your other investments, but property is a very stable asset that you need to build in correctly. And if today you want to do the asset building strategy, you can easily just use 10 to 12 years of your time to grow out this 1.128 million. Because at the end of the day, am I right to say, at the end of the day, when you do this, if you decided not to do anything already, you say, I think we can stop already. This is my last, I don't want to do property anymore. Is it that when you sell at 1.128 million, this is also your cash, your money, that you can do a lot of things. And this is after selling, after all the costs and everything. This is your net cost, your net amount that comes back. So from 368,000, go to 1.128 in a matter of 10 years to 11 years. Is this something that you dream about that you can actually do this? So this is why we always have to understand about leverage. We need to understand about unlocking, because our key thing is what we want growth. We want growth in our property. So by keeping on to your undervalued property or underperforming property, right, it is actually depreciating without you realizing. Yes, you have a shelter over your head, but your property is not growing. So this is also the reason that you have to be very careful if today you're owning a property and your lease is aging, or you have already maxed out in terms of the capability of the property value. This is very important. Okay. All right. So this is exactly the same method that we teach our guys, our clients, right? That today, if you can see from here, they bought a 2-bedroom during 2019 at 1.169 million, and eventually sold at 2023 for a profit of 1.4 million, up to 1.4 million. So taking this amount, eventually we went on to what? We unlocked this property for 2-bed, 2-bath. We unlocked this out, and we went on to purchase a 1.38 million next property. So this is how we keep what? Keep your assets growing. It no need to be very fast. All right, we are able to grow our 1 million to 3 million in 5 years. It doesn't mean that you have to grow so fast. It can be going in smaller steps. So even for this client, started off with 1.168 and eventually now went to 1.38 million. And this one eventually will still grow up maybe to about 1.5 to even 1.6 million. So it's a step-by-step process, like a property ladder, that we want you to what? Understand the fundamentals of how we grow and let our money work harder. Let our money work harder for us instead of the other way around. Because at the end of the day, what is your end goal? Why do we want to do all this so troublesome? I need to sell, I need to do all this. Because at the end goal, you want to build enough capital that you can own 2 properties. One, you can do it for own stay, and one, you can use it for rental, depending on the situation. Because ultimately, right now, our names are limited. Every person's name can only do 1 property, unless you have your kids. Like I bought property under my daughter as well, you see. So this is how you are able to capitalize on the situation. But of course, this asset building strategy, right, is not for everybody. All right, everybody's situation is very different. That's why I want to show you 2 strategies. You need to decide which strategy fits you most, that you can undertake and you can move forward with it. All right. So the second strategy I want you all to write down is called the property savings blueprint. Okay, for the property savings blueprint, just understand it cannot be everything you want. I want the highest floor, I want the best unit, biggest unit, I want the cheapest price. It's impossible. So asset building strategy is really for those that today you are very capable and you really want to kind of save time. Okay, time is always not our favor. But a property savings blueprint can still achieve the same result, but it takes a longer time. All right, so this is fair. Or if we want to do something, if we are a little bit more careful and we don't want to take unnecessary risk, then we may have to use a longer time to exchange. All right, but with longer time, does it mean that I will make lesser? It also is not. It's just that the mechanism is a little bit different. All right, so how does property savings blueprint works? So same thing, we will start off with a capital. But this time around, I hold on to the property. Okay, so this is a very like our parents' time where they actually hold on to the property. So what happens here is most of them, they stop here. They hold on 20 years, 30 years, they stop. But our method of property savings blueprint is that today you must unlock it out. Why? Because you must unlock this value out so that you can retire very comfortably. And let me give you a real example. Okay, an example here. So let's say today you are at age 35 and you're buying a $1.6 million property. Okay, I just based on 1% inflation now, or averagely our inflation should be about 3 to 4%. But if let's say today based on 1% inflation, up, down, over how many years? 20 years. No matter what happens, not the market, not the economy or whichever, just based on the inflation, your property value at the age of 55, that means after 20 years, right, will be valued at 1.95 million. Can you see how powerful inflation is? All right. And at the age of 55, actually your property haven't fully paid. But you have this property already increased in value. So during then when we do our calculation, right, based on 20 years loan, there's still an outstanding loan about 303,000. We already calculated. So based on a 35 years old today, 20 years later, I still have an outstanding loan of 303 that I need to pay off. So during 55, maybe you're saying that, I don't need this property already. I want a smaller property. Maybe or maybe you're thinking, maybe I want a smaller property. Then you say that, okay, I want to right size to a smaller one. So a lot of them, they will continue hold on to this property and then fully paid. Most of them, they do that. But today, when you fully pay the property, do you have enough for retirement? That's a different story. So what is the end goal? If you are going for property savings blueprint, right, you need to exit out from your existing property so that you can unlock all these profits out from it. And how do we do it? First, you need to minus off your outstanding loan, which means at the end of the day, the net cash that you have is 1.65 million because you have been happily paying it for the next 20 years. You've been paying 20 years, which means when you sell this property, you have 1.65 million in your pocket. But cannot just take the money, right? You still have a roof over your head, you see. So today, a lot of people always advise their kids to buy HDB first. My way is different. Okay, if I had known, I also wouldn't do it last time. I will put HDB my last property. Provided you have the means to purchase condominium first, I will do it last. And I share with you why. Because which one actually grows faster in terms of capital appreciation? Which one has less control over pricing, although over policies, right? Private property has less. So if I can use private property over the next 20 years to grow, even using a property savings blueprint, right? At the end of the day, I will want to right size to HDB. I right size to HDB, I say that, okay, maybe I need renovation, 50,000, my stamp duty, everything. So my cost of my retirement home in this HDB is 663,000. So I net off everything, right? I have a very fabulous property that I can still stay. It's near amenities. It's still, because all HDBs are very near all the transportations, MRT, everything. So I will want that for my convenience sake when I retire. But at the end of the day, I have almost $1 million in my pocket that I can retire very, very comfortably. I no need to go and string down and say that I only can buy, I only can eat porridge. If I want to travel, I got enough money to travel. So this is what is happening in the previous generation where they don't have this knowledge. So they keep holding on to the HDB, even to their landed property. So they are what I call asset rich, cash poor. That's why many of them are still working. They need their normal daily lifestyle. They still need to work for their daily expenses, but they don't know that their asset can actually be unlocked. And if you can just swap it out differently, it will help you with your retirement. How many of you will want $1 million for retirement? Okay, it's actually not enough, but it's better than nothing, right? Better than nothing, right? So this is the reason why we are always advocating a lot of homeowners, right, to start looking at properties from a different lens altogether. Like for Miss Ong, right, she was only in her 30s. And during that time, 2021, it was just after COVID, there was a lot of noises to say that, hey, property is very risky, you shouldn't be buying. And when during 2021, we bought a 700 square feet unit for 1.168 million. All right, this was just after COVID. And eventually, if you see a 700 square feet, let's just use a past data to talk about, right? So you can see a bigger unit is already transacting at 1.568 million. A smaller unit is transacting at 1.38 million. So is it fair for me to say, if let's say this property I can sell at 1.4 million, it's quite fair based on size, or because we only buy 1.168 million, 1.168 ma. So eventually, right, if we base on this, right, she already pocketed 232,000 in just 3 years. Does she have much risk? Not much risk. Why? Because she's only doing this as a 25% down payment. And she's able to afford purchasing this property, but her property value has already increased. So let me ask every one of you here, have your property actually increased 200 over 1,000 in the last couple of years? Or have you waited maybe 10 years or 15 years, then your property has grown this much? So this is the real reason why today, why I want to run classes like this, because today's a resale property, a new launch property, you need to enter it correctly. If you can safeguard yourself based on your entry prices, your exit is going to be so much easier. And that's the reason why I'm able to help my clients or even our own property to exit very easily with eyes closed. Because today we are not buying it. Today, even with the market heated up, can we still spot good properties that we can buy in comparison that is cheaper? In comparison, are we better? In comparison, can we stack up more advantages to a property that we can purchase? So that's why today my role is I want to share with you, time is opportunity. You may have missed out a lot during the previous cycles and everything. And every time an opportunity comes into you, you are very fearful about it. Today, I want to break this fear of yours, to provide you the education, the knowledge that you can, once you understand how property is being done, right, you can be very confident to be like many others. When there's opportunity in front of you, you can go for it. The real truth, my friends, we don't have many 10 years. We don't have many 10 years anymore. Time is always not our favor. And if today we keep sitting on the sidelines, seeing the market goes, and we keep hearing people making how much, all these things, is it time that you put a stop and tell yourself, this could be me? Ask yourself, how long have you been waiting for somebody? Perhaps you've been wanting to do this, but nobody is able to show you or guide you because you lack the knowledge. You don't have the time, you don't have the resources, you don't have the access. But today, by you spending this time, right, do you have a better way of looking at properties right now? That's what I mentioned. All of you here, you have a choice. You have a choice to make moving forward. Do you still want to give yourself the excuse to say that I don't know how to do it? I cannot find somebody to help me do it. But now you have. That's why in summary, these 3 secrets has actually helped us to actually grow our portfolios as well as many of our clients. And there's only one thing left for you to do. And we're still not done yet. There's still a lot of bonus things I want to share with you all. So that basically there's one thing left that you all have 3 options in front of you. And you all have to make a very sound decisions on what you want to do. The first thing that you can do is whatever you learn today, you do nothing. Okay, tomorrow is just another day. You go back to your work, you go back to your family, everything stays normally. Or perhaps you could take path 2. You take some of the things that I share with you and then you apply it yourself. Great. All right. You expand your knowledge now. You want to continue learning about property. Maybe now is not the right time for you to do it, but you want to continue to what? Get educated. Great. Welcome on board. Or perhaps you're on path 3 that you already been wanting to look into property, but you are struggling. You're struggling that you don't have time. You're struggling that whatever information that you're getting is always outdated, or you're not given the real understanding of how the market is moving. Then you may be needing some help in this moment. And I promise you, I have something damn great for all of you. because you guys are stay on. And there's a huge chance how you guys are going to make your time worth here. And I've never done this before. So you guys are going to be in for a big surprise. I want to ask every one of you here, do you find that whatever I share with you is like this little girl, the water was suddenly splashed in front of you? Have or not? Do you all feel that way? So I put something together because whatever I share with you, it's not everything. Definitely, I cannot cover so much in just this timing, right? There's a lot more that we want to guide you through this property process step by step. And if today, this short time of masterclass, you already learned something and you already learned something that has helped you open up your mind a little bit in terms of how property is being done, right? Can you imagine when we have a chance to work hand in hand? Can you imagine if we are spending hours and hours of time together that we can guide you through in terms of a property purchase? Would you have already learned even more? So can I ask again for your permission if I can share with you a special offer that I actually put in together just for you guys? Because you guys have been so great. I see so many responses, right? Later I will take a look at all the questions and answers. So later on, please stay on through because I'll be answering all your questions. So you all must stay on all the way to the end. All right. Can I have your permission if I can just share what kind of offer that I have done for you all, that this offer is a lifetime thing that you will never be available again. So if I have your permission, can you all please type in yes in the chat so that I can share with you all how you guys can have a chance to work with us on a very, very personal basis. All right. Thank you so much for those who have actually put it in. So I really want to invite every one of you here. Okay, you are spending your valuable time. I want to give back. I want to add value to you. I want to invite you to my 6-figure one-on-one personalized consult. Okay, so let me share with you. I want you all to listen carefully because I want you all to listen how this is going to be done, how we can actually help you start your property journey. And this is not for everybody because we don't have so much time also. That's why this is only by application only. And I will give you instructions how you are able to apply for this situation because we are very selective in who we can work with. So in order for you to be able to be accepted, there's a series of things that we want you to actually do it so that we can know how we can help you. So today, how many of you actually needs help to build a property plan for the next 5 to 10 years, right? If you need help, right, just type in one inside the chat. All right, you need a personalized plan to help you plan, whether it's to buy now, sell later, or whichever the situation. So how many of you would like to actually gain access to all the education resources in shorter time to make an informed decision? Type in one, okay? Type in one. And today you decided to chuck your old way of looking at properties anymore. You want to start studying from a data research perspective. So when you make the choices for your family, you can be very confident. Type in one inside the chat. Thanks. Because today I can share with you, the market has shifted ever since the last 10 to 15 years, that today we've researched, yet many homeowners are not using it to help them make a better informed decision. They are still relying a lot on their gut feel, on their preferences. Nothing wrong with those. But if we can be a homevestor, we can have a support of both. Isn't it giving us a better opportunity to safeguard ourselves so that we don't make unnecessary risks in terms of property purchase? So this is why I want every one of you to become your own success story. I don't want you all to hold back your own success anymore. In the past, maybe you say that, well, I don't know who can help me. I don't have access to all these things. And today, if we can give you full clarity with your assessment of your property, and you know exactly what is going to happen in the property market, will it help you better in your planning process? That's why, my friend, I want to introduce you all how you all can also adopt the REI method to come in. Because as we go in through this process, right, my role is to give you what? The clarity. You need to have clarity in your own plans. And today, no matter what kind of property you see other people buying, or even if I introduce you, you cannot accept one because you lack the education. You lack the understanding of what is happening in the property market. And if today, even if I choose a good property for you, you will never accept because you are not confident about what we are doing, what you are doing. So my role is, after understanding the knowledge, you gain understanding already. When we choose the right property for you, you have full confidence of your purchase. This is what we want every of our homeowners who are working with us to systematically look at property. Not only just now, future, in the next 10, 20 years, systematically. And I can't do this alone. And that's why one of my mission is I want to impact more families, and I can't do it alone. You see, that's why I run classes, so that I can what? I can talk to more people at one time. My team can also be out there outreaching to more people so that we can spread this knowledge of becoming a home investor. You see, so this is why later on I'll share with you a spectacular way that you can ride on this journey. And I want you all to listen very carefully, because there's a process that you need to go through before you are being selected, and you need to apply because we have limited time also. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, right, I'm going to give you insights of what is going to happen in this consultation. We're going to definitely invest more than 10 hours of our attention time to help you, depending on which stage. If perhaps right now you're very early stage, then we may need to definitely spend more time. Or some of you, maybe you're already looking at some of the new launches, but you're deciding, okay, I don't know which one I want to choose. Coach Edmund, can you help me to what? Make a better decision based on research and data? Then that's where we will help you give a second opinion. And that situation will be faster, definitely. Right? So it could be very early stage, it doesn't matter. Our role is we want to share with you the research and data so you make a decision. Okay, my role, I cannot help you make a decision, but I can provide you all this access. I can provide you all this data and research, right? Then as we discuss, you can make a decision and I facilitate the entire process. Okay, very important. Huh? So the first thing that we will go through, right, as we go through our journey, right, is to have full clarity. And we go through quite a fair bit. Okay, some of you may have already done yourself. You know exactly what you want to do. You know your directions, very clear. But most of the families I work with, they don't even know whether that direction they are thinking about is safe for them. That's where my role comes in to provide your alternative ideas, alternative solutions that perhaps you never even thought before, and could that be part of the equation and options. So we will go through quite a fair bit. Our property vision blueprint is to guide you through this objective. We want to get you clearer of your objective. And we will also run through a 5 steps financial framework calculations to make sure that it's safe for you. Okay, the moment your numbers turn out unsafe, right, I will tell you don't do, because it's only going to stress you. And the moment you are stressed, I also stress. All right, so we will go through your finances to be very detailed to make sure that even in the worst case situation, worst time, this property can still self-sustain, like how we do. We bought during the worst time in terms of the high interest rate, high price environment. I bought during COVID period. But yet, how are we able to sustain it over time? That is why this is important. We will also be looking at different options of your situation. Maybe some of you may be looking at, oh, if I sell this property already, I want to buy two. So please be warned, if today you are looking at selling one property to buy two properties, it really depends on your fundamentals of your finances and your capability. I've right now it's not so ideal to do two properties if your capability is limited. Of course, if your capability is great, go for it. But a lot of times, you may want to combine your resources for a bigger unit right now if there's some limitations. All right, so a lot of our clients, we actually advise against them because of their finances. We find that it's too risky for them to own two. And if you own two, your two products, your two properties are a little bit mediocre, all right, not like the best fantastic. So if we can combine the resources, there's more things we can do. So that's how we can help. Like for Susanna, when she came on board, right, her original plan, right, was actually to buy a property for long term. Long term. Then after that, when we discuss the knowledge and insights actually make them critically reevaluate their options, okay, and their property journey for the coming years. So my role is not to follow what you say. If I want to follow what you say, actually my job very easy. Easy. But my role is to what? Be a devil's advocate a little bit. If you're taking A, what if there's a B option, there's a C option? Can we discuss a little bit more and see where the direction goes? So that is why you need an advisor, or you need a doctor like me, right? If not, I will just follow what you want. You want Panadol, I give you Panadol, or you want flu medicine, I give you flu medicine, or then like that is not advice. Okay, I don't believe so. So I always believe that today I want to value add to you. It's based on my years of experience, years of clients that we work with. We know what are the possible outcome that will come out if we take a certain directions. We have gone through so many homeowners' mistakes that I can share with you. Don't avoid it. Please keep this situation. If you want to go in, this is what is going to happen, the consequences. So I'm able to share with you very specifically because of we have so many clients that we work with. We know exactly what is happening. And very important, like for Susanna, at the end of the day, she discovered that she actually only needs things for short term. So her current property right now, we are also doing a review with her soon to see what's next for her situation. So this is why the mechanics of the market and future outlook, it makes them more confident and secure. Because today we are not buying fish or chicken or whatever, you see. So the first stage is always about clarity. You need to have a very clear objective, what we want to do, and value at $1,230. So being part of the community, you'll not only just go through the consult, you'll be also part of this where we will have trainings, we will have our coaching sessions, events, and resources that you can get access to. So stay on with me because I will be showing you how you are able to apply to get on board with us on this consultation. And I have more surprises for you all, why you all should undertake this with us. Okay. So the second thing that we will go through after the objective of the clarity is education part. So this is the part where we will spend a little bit more time to understand what is happening into the property market. We will cover quite a fair bit, the market cycles, long-term, short-term plans, the indicators, the supply and demand situations. We will cover quite a fair bit so that you get yourself ready to enter into the property market. Today, if you're already ready, you know that, hey, you have been waiting on the sidelines and today your funds are enough, you're ready to enter in. Also, please be careful. You shouldn't be entering anyhow. Okay, we are here to guide you through, like, is this the right time even? Is this the right placement to enter into the property market? That's why, because there's so many different projects out there, right? How do you actually determine which project actually is better? Which one is actually rightly priced in today's marketplace? If not, everything you see will be just numbers to you. You cannot do a comparison. Our role is to start showing you a lot more data and trends. Start doing more comparison, numbers, PSF, volume, everything. Then you will start seeing a lot of charts like this, or to make a better informed decision for yourself and your family. So, like for example, Eugene, when he came on board, right? Basically, he is trying to find a property, but very confused because there's so many information, right? But one of the key things that he shared is that he really prefer our data-driven approach, meaning everything is done from a data perspective to guide us on what to do next. Nothing about guessing, nothing about maybe. There's no maybe, there's no guessing. And everything is like, okay, A is A, B is B. So very clear cut, and it helps him in terms of what his decision making. So we go through very in-depth in terms of what market trends, pricing analysis, even market conditions. And most importantly is sometimes all these property data are quite confusing, very confusing, like understanding the trends, how do you study the trends? So my role is to translate complex data into meaningful insights. So we can help you make a well-informed decision, you see. And the data points, whether it's the recent sales, neighborhood demographics, property appreciation rates, all the comparable listings, all these have to come in to just make one decision. Can you imagine how much work we need to do? But the question is, can you also invest the same time with us to go through this so that when you buy this property, you can sleep very, very well at night? Okay. So when we are going through with Eugene, right, we also have a comprehensive analysis of the various properties. We highlighted the different strengths and weaknesses, and then why we present it in a very concise manner to help him make a decision. Because I cannot make a decision for you. I can present all these things to facilitate and provide you so you can make a decision. That is where my job comes in. All right. But I want to be very open. If you want to do whatever I share with you, chances are you're definitely going to make mistakes on that. Or because why? First of all, you may not have the time to really go through this. You don't have the right data points. Maybe you are interpreting it wrongly. So all these are very risky ways that I believe if you pick the wrong property, then you have to suffer with it for the next couple of years. That's why this education process is crucial in every step of our purchase. Our clients have to go through this to understand what is happening into the property market, to get yourself up to date, to make a quick decision. Or we can help you to make a decision in 3 days. Also, it depends on how much time you're investing with us together. All right. That's why for education portion, it's worth at least $1,980. And after only understanding what is happening, then when I share with you about what are the properties you should go in for, you can understand it from my perspective. So my role is not to just follow what you do. I need to show you my perspective of how I look at properties first, so that you know why we choose certain properties. Agree? So this is why this entire process do take up a lot of our time, and you need to also invest your time with us, with you and your spouse together. So the third thing that we will go through, right, is to give you the confidence that you want. So today, right, our property, if don't have these 5 checkpoints, we don't buy. Okay, we don't buy, straightforward. And there are times that we have to kind of research more in order to enter the market. Yes. So why would we want to jump into the property market when because, oh, my budget can, this is probably very good, then we jump into it. Then I believe that there's a very big risk. So today, without these 5 key points, we don't buy, straightforward. But if it fits into these 5 key points, right, we have to pull the trigger very quickly because this is a safeguarding process. I have one theory for buying property, very one key buying property, and which most of the homeowners, I believe yourself also, all right, of course, I'm not saying you, okay, it's just a what we have understand. A lot of homeowners, they buy already, they hope their property can grow. So because why? They buy with emotion, they buy as a consumer, right? So they buy and they say that, oh, if I buy this, I hope my property can grow in the next couple of years. Then they hope and pray. And when their property never grow, then they say, I wait longer. This is very common, which is, to me, is not how a homevestor should operate. A homevestor should start thinking how to buy a property and how to sell the property already. So today, we always buy property with the intention to sell. You must write down. Buy the property with the intention to sell. You don't just buy and then hope that you can sell. Hope is not a strategy. So today, all our properties that we guide our clients in, we will already know and projected that this property can make 6 figures starting from day one when you buy, not when you sell. So today, you are safeguarding yourself already. That means today I buy, I know my property is going to grow. All the properties that we have bought ourselves, our clients have bought, we already kind of work it out in terms of projection. It's very safe. So today when you buy, you know next time when you sell, your 6 figures is done. So many people will be like Rachel, okay, when everybody is trying to find out about property, kind of figure it themselves, go and read up, go and watch YouTube videos, and try to piece up the missing pieces themselves, then they are just too much to digest. And at the end of the day, what happened? More you read, more confused. Correct. Then after that, what happened? Was scared already. Then fear comes in. You say, no time, no resources. I step back. Very common. So of course, for Rachel came on to a class like you, same thing, and then went on our one-on-one consultation. And eventually, what happens is she understands her own current property situation better, and I provided different routes based on their objective because everybody is very different here. So what works for your friend, your relative, likely to work for you because your situation is different, your family nucleus is different, your finances are also very different. So you need to tailor-make. We need to tailor-make a consult for your situation, different solution. Very important. Okay. So this is why we are here to guide you guys through the identifying stage to have more confidence. So at the end of the day, identifying is one of the most crucial one because if you identify wrongly, then you'll be stuck with this property at all times. Okay, very important. So my role is really to give you more things, and I want to kind of guide you through the process of, at the end of the day, you are not just going through a consultation. There's more supports. And if whatever that I'm doing right now, how many of you agree that it's going to take a lot of time actually on our end to do the research for you, to help you piece up and understand the property market? There's actually a lot of effort and time also. And if whatever we are doing, right, if it's just to help you get certain of your own current property situation, do you think it's worth it? If you think it's worth it, right, I want you to type in 2 inside, right? And whatever that we spend the time to go through the research, to come out all the data, the numbers, and if all these things is to help you decide your property, would it be worth it? Just to spend that kind of time and effort, type in 2 inside the chat. And if all this did was just to give you back the sanity that today you are no longer guessing and you're hoping, if did I buy a right property or not? If I buy today this property, will I lose money? A lot of all this guessing game. If all this did, the amount of time that you are spending with us and we are helping you is to give you back all the sanity, will it be worth it? Type in 2 inside the chat. And so that you no need to worry if the decision is best for you. This is why we are doing this. And I want to be very transparent. We do charge a fee for consultation, right? Okay. Everybody who comes in through other resources, right, they will have to pay us to do a consultation with us because the amount of things that we do, It's going to safeguard you hundreds of thousands of dollars. But today, not you. So don't worry. Okay, we're not going to charge you a fee for this. But I want to give you more things. Because today, remember, my role is to empower 5,000 people to be educated in property before they make a decision. So I need to also painstakingly, right, to provide you all more things that you can also help me to spread out to more people. So one of the first things that I want to give you guys so that you can continue this learning journey with me is to provide you access. Our bank rates that we can actually help you to tabulate, right, is based on very live data that today, every day we are tracking. So we are able to guide you into what? Making refinancing approach very fast because we have access to all this live data. And at the same time, you may be interested in other property types, commercial, GCB, or even the private new sales, or even shop houses. Every month, we will be sending you reports and with my own insights. What am I seeing in different segments of the property market? So that you can get yourself educated. Maybe one day you say, hey, I may want to explore the shop houses. You no need to start from zero. You can start from somewhere because we have provided you some of all these insights. And so that's why this one is also added into our personal consult that you get access for it worth $730. So sometimes I always keep asking myself, today by you coming on this journey with me, what else do you need that I can continue to support you? And I want this to be a seamless process that you no need to worry. So the bonus number 2 that I'm going to provide you is my ongoing back-end support team. Okay, what are the few supports is very important in our business, in our property? Number 1, you need to make sure you have a very good panel of bankers. Okay, direct access to the bankers, very important. Second, you must have a very good legal lawyer team to help you process all these things. So this is why we will give you our access that we have been working with for the last 15 years. They are very competent. They know how to help our clients because they know our clients need certain solutions. And that's how we will be working together with the bankers and the lawyers. And if you want access to other stuff like part-time helpers, handyman, maybe even painter, all these things, you see, we also have all these contacts, or should I say vendors, that we've been working with very, very long, and they have been helping our clients to basically help in their normal day-to-day situations, handyman work, all this. Because I believe that today you're buying a property, it's not just buying a property. There's also maintenance to it. So with our access, you get also better services, better pricing, because they have been working with us. They know that, hey, they keep getting repeat business. They can actually provide you all better rates as well. So all these things I want to value add to you once you're working with us. Since we are already using it, our clients are using it, why not you also tap on it so that you have a risk-free and no need to bother so much about, hey, who should I call next time? Okay, so this one, back-end supports, definitely worth easily $580. So I keep asking myself again, hey, is this enough? Is it enough for you all to actually work with me on a longer time basis that I can provide you all these things? So the third bonus is one of the most important. Okay, every of our clients, every 3 to 4 years, we will come back and do a review of what is happening. Whether you have the intention to sell or not, it doesn't matter. But you must know what is happening to your property. You must know what your property value has increased. You must know all these things so that you can make a better informed decision. Because in the next 3 to 4 years, right, perhaps your income has increased. And you may be looking at, hey, actually with this increase, can you leverage more? And you can unlock the capital from your current property to do more things. But you don't know. And you just sit on the profit, and maybe the next couple of years, the prices came down without you realizing it. Then you miss out an opportunity to what? Cash out on a better profit. So that's why we do this review every other year, because we are here to keep you updated of what is happening. So we becomes your accountability party. Okay, we account for your property, we track everything, we will come back and share with you what is going to happen. So that is why our relationship is very long. We are not doing a transactional, we are doing a relation business here. And that's why a lot of people are introducing a lot of friends. They are referring people to us because they believe that this is what a property journey should look like. How many of you agree that today you're not just looking at one transaction, you're walking this journey with me and my entire team for the years to come? Okay, a lot of my clients in the beginning, since 2009 until now, are still with me, and we're already doing their second generation when their kids turn 21, 22. We're already doing that for them because we have a very good relationship. You see, so that's why your with a regular review, it adds on $9,000 value. Are you going to pay this 9,000? Even if I charge you 90,000, I think it's worth it to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars of losses. But it's the cost of not doing that you are falling yourself into if you decided to sit on the sidelines again. That's why this Gain Six-Figure Personalized Consult is we work together hand in hand with you. We will hold you by the hand and we guide you through the entire process. We will develop action plans. We will see what's your objective, how we can use data and numbers to help us make a better decision. That is why this is very important. And again, I shared, we do charge a fee for every single client out there. And for today, because you guys are here in this, I want to make a special arrangement for every one of you, only for you who are here to attend this class. But before I flash the QR code or even the link, right, I want to share with you all, this is not for everybody. There's limited time slots that we have. So we can only accept 10 applicants at every one time, okay? And because there's so many of you all here, right, the numbers will definitely be overwhelmed. But I'm going to give you guys time because this is not just about you saying you want and then that's it. Okay, later on, when I flash the QR code and I put in the link, right, don't do anything yet. Let me explain to you what is going to happen, Ken, so that at least you all know what to do. Because like I mentioned, this is an application only. So instead of me charging you a fee, I really want to do something for everybody. I believe in today's marketplace, there's more risk involved. We have to be extra careful. So I'm not going to charge you guys a single cent. The entire discovery session is going to be complimentary. It's going to be free. But I cannot accept everybody because of time. As I mentioned, I want to give everybody attention time. So I'm not going to spend like 20 minutes with you and then that's it. Okay, I really want to spend time to understand your situation and help you resolve this so that you can move forward with your property plan. So that's the reason why I cannot accept everybody, and this is by application only. So later on, what is going to happen? Let me share with you. Before you all start be excited and you want to be part of this, right? Later on, when the QR code is being flashed and the link is up in the chat, once you click on it, you will get a series of questions. These questions you must help me to fill up. The more information you give me, the more I can understand what is happening to your property situation and how I can help you. If you give me the one word kind of situation or one word in each question, right? I don't understand you, then I will not pick you straightforward. Okay, because I'm looking for partners to work together, not somebody that just basically want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time, and I'm sure you don't want to waste your own time. That's why we are going to invest time together. So once you open it up, right, there will be a series of questions. Help me help you put in more details about what is happening so I can understand. And what happens after that? The next 24 hours to 48 hours, my team will get in touch with you to arrange a callback. Okay, this callback, a strategy call, right, is with me personally. So if let's say you are going into this journey with your spouse, then get your spouse involved so that I can understand from both parties. But if you're going in this journey yourself, then alone, it doesn't matter. Or whoever that you're going to buy the property with. Why do I want to do this call with you? Because the information that you provided me, I also want to clarify certain things. I want to clarify some things that where you put inside the application. Maybe certain things I want to clarify, like, hey, is this the direction that you are going for? What is actually happening? So that's where you personally will be speaking to me about your situation. And that's where I can tell you a go or no go in your situation that is safer. All right. So I'll be very open. I'll be very transparent. If I find that your situation is a little bit risky, I will tell you upfront, better don't do. All right. So please don't be offended. Okay. I'm not here. I don't want to get you into trouble, but I'll be very open and transparent to share with you my thought process about your current situation. All right. So this is how the entire application works. So in a short while, I'll be flashing the QR code as well as the online link. Click on it, but don't fill up because I'm not done yet. Okay, I'll give you all time later on to fill up. So don't worry. I'll give you all time. But it's only for the first 10 or so. First 10. Okay. So today you can scan the QR code. Right now, the link is already inside the chat. We're not going to charge you 1,997. I want you all to scan in first. I'll give you time to fill up. Don't worry. But always remember the questions inside. Please help me to fill up as much details as possible so that I can understand what is happening in your property situation. All right. So the link is already inside the chat, or you can scan the QR code through your phone. All right. So I just want to continue while you guys open it up. So this is totally a no risk free because I never even charge any fee. I just really want to see how many people I can empower and how many people who are already in this situation but you cannot move. So there are two things that it will happen. You have two choices right now. First, you attend, hey, okay, I learned something, great. Then tomorrow everything goes back to normal. You continue to sit on the sideline and missing things happening again and again. Nothing wrong with it. It's okay because without you doing or you want to do, you don't want to do, it doesn't matter. The market and the people are still moving forward. Or second, you take action, you click on the link, you scan the QR code, put in your information, and let's see where this goes. Potentially, this is going to be your changing of your property journey without you realizing. Potentially. So that's why I want to share with you guys that today, sometimes it only takes one decision that you can set for life in terms of your property journey. And again, this is only for the first 10 applicants. Okay, so this is where I want to be very transparent. Because of the time that we want to spend on every single one of you, that's why we limit to 10. But if let's say these 10, maybe two of them, we decided it's not a good match that we can work together, then I promise you I will put in the 11 and 12 inside the 10. As long as the 10 people are being filled up, we don't continue the process. That's why later on you also want to fit in as fast as possible because it's only for the first 10. All right, we want to get your application in as quick as possible. So this is really by application only. We will choose to call you, we will choose not to call you. And that's why this is important for you to provide me as much information as possible. All right. So the amount of time that we're going to spend on you is a lot. That's why we don't want you to anyhow apply and then don't want to spend time with us. And you say, hey, I'll keep very busy. Then we can't do anything with you also. All right. Again, we do charge $1,997 per consult, but today you're absolutely getting it free. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick summary of what you're going to get when you are actually applying for this consultation. We will basically guide you through the entire process of where you are and where you want to be through our REI method. And along this process, we'll be also providing you a lot of different insights, a lot of access and supports that we can help you to make a better decision over time. Total value $9,070 is already changed. It's definitely worth more than it. Because the risk of you not doing it is even higher than this amount. Today, you may be sitting on the side fence for the longest time and you wanted someone to guide you through it step by step, to really in your face tell you upfront, is it safe for you to do or not? Today, you have come to the right class because I'll be as transparent as possible to tell you, don't need to think about property or property is the right way that you should be going for. Because no point to actually drown in this market situation where your own capability is not safe. Okay, if it's not safe, then find other ways. Maybe I can divert you to other situations where others resources they can help you build out your funds a lot better. Then we look into property again. All right, so again, the QR code is there. The scan code is also inside the chat. You can actually scan the code or click the link for the information. All right, so I'll be going for a very short 5 minutes break, and I will come back later on to cover all these questions that you have. And at the same time, this is your time that you can actually fill up the application at the same time. All right, so I'm going to step away for a while for 5 minutes. You can take this chance to fill up the information. Remember, again, please put in as much information as possible so that we can guide you through the entire process of how this property works. All right, so I shall see you guys shortly in 5 minutes time. All right, just